no fans ever go to because one is the A's and the other that darn bridge. I don't know. It seems too wordy, but I don't know.
The concrete bowl for all the empty seats.
Yeah, I like that.
They're in the 11th tied up, so a lot of good games. Astros and Seattle getting ready to get started, and I know you watch a lot of Seattle. I love Dave Sims, one of the great announcers out there. Used to be. Does he do a full college basketball package anymore like he used to?
You know what? I'm not positive. I'm not sure on that.
Used to be Mr. Big East with Mike Gorman and a couple of those East Coast types, and Mr. West Coast all these years doing Seattle Mariners games. I love him. He's got his ubiquitous tam o'shanter on like Payne Stewart would wear.
Oh yeah,
I've always liked that look. Got to be a confident man to pull that look off, Brian.
Got to, and he's a very confident man.
I don't know that I can pull that off.
No, I know I certainly couldn't.
That's like a bow tie.
That's right. Yes.
You better wear it well.
Yes, you got to wear it with confidence and really sell it. But he wears it well. I'll give him that. And
he sure does.
Mariners been playing some good baseball against the Astros, kind of a lot of really tight games, having to win it late, but finding ways to win against a division foe.
Yeah, they are, and we last night we waited. I guess some waited until the last minute for a decision whether to withdraw from the NBA entry into the draft or go back to college. Some did and didn't go back to the college where they were. They decided to go to other colleges. David Jones stayed in the draft. Brian, I really last night. I know Twitter X is not the real world. I know that. I know it is a very, very, very young person's world. I know that. It's why I am not that. I do anything. You could describe me as anything but living at Twitter.
Sure.
But last night I really did feel sorry. Truly. I mean, I wanted to reach out to him and go, please don't do this to yourself. Well, the people hanging on to that last minute decision, and frankly, Penny of Nazareth is going to turn water into wine and talk David Jones back into coming to the Tigers.
Sure, and
did you see that thread? Did you see that sentiment?
I absolutely did, and I know. I think Jason Munn's tweeted something out that I think some people started taking as, oh, wait, he might change, and he quickly deleted it and was like, that's not what I meant at all. I just meant that we all thought, that at least that's how I read his tweet, of we all kind of thought he was coming back to Memphis, and you really never know until it's over. But then, an hour or so later, you started to see a lot of people saying, all right, everybody time out. There's still time,
please.
and
you
they
that,
could. I did not. No, when I heard the announcement, and the thing was, and I understand, the sentiment of maybe Penny gets on the phone and tries to talk him into it, but we all saw the announcement from Jonathan Gavoni and then the great beat writers we have here with their stories on it, and even David Jones put it on his Instagram and was saying, yeah, I'm going pro, and then I know Jason Munns reached out to people connected with him that said, no, this is over. He's going pro. There's there's nothing that can happen, but still people holding on to hope all the way until midnight Eastern last night. That
funny
maybe
thing, all of them
change.
having as their Twitter profile a picture of David Jones.
That's right. Yes. I guess that trend's going to have to stop now. That he's not coming back, unfortunately. So yeah, I know. And even today, I mean, you talk about waiting till the last minute. We had one guy that Jackson Robinson got out last night, but nobody knew about it until this morning at about noon. And so, I think everyone thought last night, okay, he's staying in the draft because we haven't heard anything. And then today about noon, a bunch of reports came out that, oh no, he's going back to college and he's not staying at BYU. He's going to go to Kentucky with Mark Pope. And so that was kind of big news today. But it's something that's still, I think, very new. These guys having the opportunity to go and test the draft waters and then come back. And so, I'm not mad at people for trying to hold out hope. I understand fandom, but when I saw those notifications and stories saying that he was gone, I knew that was it on that. And hey, let's move on and figure out what's next for this team.
I understand fandom too. I love fandom. I am first and foremost a fan, and I'm not ashamed of that. That's never changing. But second most, I'm a realist.
Sure.
And I think you have to have that. I know what fan stands for. I know all that. But this yin to Penny can't fail.
Yeah.
Penny will lead us out of this wilderness given enough time. Oh man, I just think that group is setting itself up for something. And Bryant, you go through it through the years of Penny and kind of some of the fibs through the years.
Yeah.
From the highly touted recruiting class of, he was going to teach Amani Bates how to play point guard.
That's right. Yeah.
And I have said and thought forever, you don't teach anybody to be a point guard.
Right.
They're born to be one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think you, not even the great Penny Hardaway. Then we get to, which I think still was the most damaging whopper told by him, is during the pandemic, the biggest health scare of most of our lives. Out there at one time in the fall of 2021, is that right? Yes, that is right.
Yeah.
It was even 100% vaccination going around. Remember that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And being told and retold and repeated. Then it kind of wobbled down to just 90.
Sure.
Remember?
Yep.
That was his words exactly. It's 90. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I think I may have even said this, 90% is a good effective rate.
Sure.
That's A in any classroom in the
Absolutely.
country. You can't ask for
Take
much
90
more than
any
that.
Day, yeah.
Take 90 in about everything we do. I hope I bat 90 in the next 2.5 minutes.
That's right.
Never mind till 6 o'clock. And then on one humiliating Saturday, you get up to Nashville to play Tennessee, and one team is there and prepared to play, and one team is there and couldn't play. But then we make it all about big old mean Rick Barnes in the future, and that's easy to do.
Sure.
Nothing sucks like the Big Orange and hate Tennessee. It's really easy to do. We're not part of Tennessee. We're in Memphis.
Sure.
We're in 901. We're in Big Shelby. Easy to do all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
3 people were vaccinated on the team.
Yeah.
1 walk-on, 1 reserve, and 1 about a 7th man.
Yeah.
And the game had to be canceled.
Yeah. No, you're right about that.
And now in maybe the worst relations with Tennessee ever out of it.
Yeah. I almost forgot about that, honestly, Brett. And wow, you're absolutely right.
A lot different. and so many of the stenographers and the water carriers help everybody to forget. Then we get around to just a few weeks ago when it would be so easy to undersell and over-deliver. Mm-hmm. I'm really hopeful David Jones comes back. Really would like him back. Showed to be a key contributor last year. Really think he can help us if he comes back. He's got to follow. Can't just be 50-50.
Right.
Had to be 70. He's coming back.
Sure.
70. He's coming back.
Yeah. No. I mean, that's what I was saying yesterday, Brett, of even saying 70-30 with that idea out there and him testing the waters. It was always 50-50 or at least 55-45. It was going to be close the whole way, and we saw how close it was.
David Jones, who he forgot about and didn't have him have a shot in the last 6 minutes at Ole Miss on the day that Penny had a toothache.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a weird ride.
And then the coaching upheaval. This week has really crystallized, to me, the Penny years. More coaching upheaval.
Yeah.
More disappointment. When do the Tiger fans, other than that hope, that same hope of day one of the conquering hero coming back to coach, the same hope of that first Memphis Madness when he walked out on that stage at that end of the building where we sat above it.
That's right.
And he walked out and held his hands out like the figure down in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. Of, I'm here.
That's right. All the smoke, Brett.
All the smoke.
A lot of smoke, that's for sure.
And no one win.
Yeah.
NCAA tournament success.
Yep, man, against Boise State in the first round. That's it.
I think the best thing Penny Hardaway has done as head coach at Memphis is he has been a fearless scheduler.
Oh, absolutely. You can't take that away from him at all.
Cannot. That's number one.
Yeah.
After that, it's a lot of jump balls.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's been a lot of like I said, it's been a weird ride. But you're right. On the scheduling front, there's no debating it. He'll go out and schedule anybody. But other than that,
but even on that front, last year with that start, in his words, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have the exact quote, but basically, we got to take care of non-conference because conference is easy. That's what he meant.
And then a complete collapse in conference play.
And a complete collapse in that conference.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. And so now we'll see where he pivots and what he does. Late last night, they got a commitment from prep school guard Daniel Vieira Tuck, who spent most of last season in Portugal playing in Portugal League.
Can't make that up.
No.
Last year playing in Portugal.
Literally. And it sounds like Jason Munge just reported within the last hour that he will report late July because he's going to be a part of the U20 FIBA Portugal national team. So they've got whatever World, Cup, whatever they do for U20 coming up in a couple of weeks. So he's going to be doing that, and then he'll join the team. So now Penny Hardaway, 3 scholarships to play with. We'll see what he does with them. I know there have started to be some names coming out of maybe guys they're targeting. And, he'll have those 3 scholarships to play with. We'll see what he does with those and probably keep an eye on some of these guys that tested the waters and have taken their names out but are going to the transfer portal. Probably guys you'll see. But, not a ton of guards out there right now. So we'll see what Penny Hardaway and his staff does. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Steve Macy, the Senior Director for Team Business and Event Operations for the Memphis Showboats. He'll join us the final week of the UFL regular season, the final Memphis Showboats home game this weekend, Sunday night game against the Houston Roughnecks. And Brad, I don't know if you saw this. We'll have to talk to Steve about this. But the UFL came out yesterday, I believe it was, and said that the winner of this game between Memphis and Houston will get the number 1 overall pick in the UFL draft.
Well, that's anything but last going
How
first,
about that?
It
sure is. So a lot to play for, not only the first overall pick, but the number 1 pick in every round of the 2025 draft. So certainly something to play for in this game against 2 teams that have really struggled all year long. But we'll talk to Steve about the Showboats and this weekend's game. 3:45, a ton of scheduling news, TV times, I should say, for college football. We've got a lot of SEC times. We've also got a lot of Memphis Tiger times, including the start time for the road game against Florida State that is very highly anticipated. So we'll talk about that at 3:45. 4 o'clock, Keith Smith will join us from Spot Track and the Front Office Show to talk the NBA. Got to talk about Boston clinching their spot in the NBA Finals, and also Game 5 tonight between the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. 4:30, we'll talk some baseball. A lot of news to get to in baseball. We had some games last night. Also, Thursday being a travel game. Not a ton of games today. I think only 8 games total in Major League Baseball. And so we'll talk about some of those day games that have gone on this afternoon. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Greg Gaston will join us to talk Tigers, and a perfect day to talk to Greg Gaston with plenty to get to with the Tigers. I mentioned TV times out, so we can talk a lot of footballs, Greg, but also, of course, David Jones, his decision, and what this means for Tiger basketball. We'll do all of that at 5 o'clock. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, in our Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Summer is here, and it's time to party. 24-foot above-ground pool for $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and robotic cleaners, 20% off. Select in-stock patio furniture, up to 50% off. Play gyms, up to $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, 20% off. 4-person hot tubs, only $29.99.99. Discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while supplies last. So get over to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian. I'm Brett. Lee Odwin Seabury with us as well. We want you to join us at 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will also appear on that 901-360-8255 number at the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. We are in our Family Leisure studio, and every day this hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. The one and only Lexus dealership in town. You can call them at 901-334-9673. But they would rather you stop by and see them at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the decision that we learned right about this time yesterday afternoon. David Jones going to stay in the NBA draft. What does that mean for Memphis basketball? Like Brett said to start the show, a lot of people were holding out hope last night up until the final seconds that maybe something would happen and David Jones would return to the Tigers, but that wasn't the case. But we did get a commitment last night. Penny Hardaway did, from prep school guard Daniel Vieira Tuck. I mentioned it a second ago. Daniel Vieira Tuck spent most of last year in Portugal, which is his mother's native country, playing in their youth league and also for the U20 national team. I mentioned it also, Jason Munn's reporting that he will not be with the team until late July because of him playing with that U20 Portugal national team. They'll be participating in the FIBA competition coming up, the U20 competition. So he'll be with them and then come and join Memphis. I was able to go on, and people can go onto YouTube and find a lot of the FIBA games and events, and you can search FIBA Portugal U20 and find games where he's playing in if you want to go and look at him. I got through one half last night after he committed in a game against Great Britain, I think it was. He's a crafty guard. He is a playmaker and fun to watch, but very raw and is definitely going to need some work and some time. This is not a guy that I think comes in and is your most impactful player and shocks everybody. I think this is going to be a role guy that maybe can crack the rotation for some minutes, but he's going to be a guy that has to do some learning. He's very active defensively. We know how much Penny Hardaway puts stock into what you can do defensively. And, I got through a half last night. I think he had 2 or 3 steals. So, very active. Now, you can look at the stats. I don't know. I'll be completely honest. I don't know how to compare high school basketball here in America to what they do at that same level in Portugal. So I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison. We'll see what happens when he gets here, a 6'4 guard. But I do think this is probably a rotation piece, probably end of bench rotation, kind of like we saw with those freshmen on last year's team.
And in your top story, Brian, hidden in there is a little more of the head fakery, fibbery from Penny.
Yeah.
Remember that when 3 weeks ago, the big thing, everybody here June 1.
Yes.
That's one of the mandates this year, that we all get to know each other. None of this breezing in late.
That's right.
Now, because of FIBA Portugal World Cup.
Yeah.
So, it's a moving bar constantly.
Yes.
My top story, Game 5 in Minneapolis tonight. Gentlemen sweep or series. What's going to happen from tonight? Can Karl Anthony Towns be consistent? We know Anthony Edwards will be, but he needs help. Boston awaits this Western Conference champion that could be crowned tonight, and that would be on the road if they are crowned, just like Boston was crowned on the road in Indianapolis. And Boston will be heavily favored over either of these teams, no matter how many games it goes. And we get really kind of self-pleased with how tough the West is in the NBA, and it is, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, in this 21st century, the East has produced 6 different championship teams to 5 for the West. Now, the West has won more titles with those San Antonio Lakers, Golden State runs. But we talk about all the different teams that can come at you. This is 6. Won't grow any because Boston's one of those 6. And if it's Dallas out of the West, it won't grow any out of the West because they've won one too. It can only get tied if Minnesota gets in there and they beat Boston. So we get a little pleased about how tough the West is. East always pretty good at championship time.
Yes, no, they usually are, and Boston's going to have that nice time off to rest and get back healthy, so it'll be interesting to see what happens tonight in the West.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, I'm going to stick with college basketball with a lot of those decisions that happened yesterday. And I've got to say, a couple of the winners that definitely jumped off the page. Alabama, we talked about it yesterday, getting Mark Sears back is massive. I think he's going to be a favorite, if not the favorite, to win Conference Player of the Year next year and maybe even National Player of the Year.
We're talking basketball, right?
Yes, basketball. Did I say football?
No.
Oh,
you said
good. I just make sure.
Bama this time of year at number 1.
That's right. Oh, yeah. You think football. But no, look out for this basketball team. I've seen a lot of people say they could be preseason number 1 in the country.
More expectations on Nate Oates than Kalen DeBoer.
It's crazy. I mean, who would have thought? But that's the team that he's put together. It's really incredible. Mark Sears comes back. Jaron Stevenson comes back. He's another guy that tested to the draft. You got Chris Youngblood from South Florida. That will be a good player off the bench. Aiden Holloway, who was a freshman last year at Auburn, who had some really, really impressive games. He transferred to Alabama. There's a lot of other names in there for Alabama. Grant Nelson coming back last year, the guy that everyone had such high hopes for last offseason. He's coming back. Kentucky, another winner. I mentioned Jackson Robinson. What they have brought in under Mark Pope. I'm not saying this is going to be a team that's top 5, top 10, maybe even not top 25 in the country, but they could be a fun team to watch. And what Louisville's been putting together, the state of Kentucky could have 2 really fun basketball teams to watch.
Grant Nelson, a year later, he had a good year last year, but he could have the Dalton Connect year
100%,
next year.
Absolutely.
And he had good moments this year, but
he definitely did. It just was not what it was built up to be in the offseason.
Because it was predicted he would be the Dalton Connect.
Brett, he was Kevin Durant before he joined Alabama. I mean, that's what people were making him out to be.
I mean, Dalton Connect became Grant Nelson when Grant Nelson
exactly.
now yes. it gets crazy. My not top story. Well, you don't need terrible weeks in the summertime, but Tiger basketball is enduring one. This has been a rough and tumble week for Penny Hardaway's program. More musical chairs with the assistant coaches. He either doesn't like them or they don't like him, and there's always change. Now the David Jones news. It was not my top story, even though we talked a lot about it before we got to top, and not for this reason. Sadly, Tiger basketball is not a top story anymore. And had I know that, with what they drew last year, what they've drawn lately, those games are not well attended. There's no NCAA tournament success, and you've had too much drama. I left out, I said maybe the biggest fib was the vaccination rates. And I may be wrong.
Okay.
That whole Jordan Brown stuff was awful last year.
Yeah.
That was disgraceful for everybody to play along with it.
Yeah. Well, we were trying to mail him get well soon cards, Brett.
Well, we could, and we never could get an address.
Could not get
he
an
wasn't
address.
sick.
Oh, that's a very good
He
point.
was sick of Penny.
Well, yes, I think that's definitely closer to the truth. John Rothstein tweeting out just now, source, next season's game between Memphis and Missouri will be on November 4th, the opening night of the 2024-25 college basketball season at FedEx Forum, return game of home and home series.
And the next day, November 5th, I think all of college basketball, college football's playing that night in the MAC, but all of college basketball, along with the NBA, standing down for Election Day.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. So, game 1 for the Tigers this year will be against Missouri. That'll be a fun game this season. That's right. How about that? But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, we're talking showboats with Steve Macy.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the bike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 MPG? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month, both $39.99 due at signing. All 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Incentives price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695, $650 acquisition fee, EV6 P5610964, MSRP $50,200, Telluride RG $510,849, MSRP $38,305, Forte LXS RE $781,69, MSRP $21,820. Plus finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax island license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning Repair Team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi, this is Jay Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home. With Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of the store.
Corky's Barbecue.
Hi, this is Jay Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home. With Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of the store.
Looking for a new show to dive into? Well, go to Hulu and see what's new, because Hulu has new stuff all the time, like the full season of FX's epic limited series Shogun, FX's new international spy thriller The Veil, starring Emmy and Golden Globe winner Elizabeth Moss, and don't miss the all-new crime series Under the Bridge, inspired by shocking true events and starring Riley Keough and Lily Gladstone. It's all new, and it's streaming right now on Hulu.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695, $650 acquisition fee, EV6 P5610964, MSRP $50,200, Telluride RG $510,849, MSRP $38,305, Forte LXS RE $781,69, MSRP $21,820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax island license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only. I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG highway, $199 a month, $34.99 do it signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 do it signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gothic Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of wrecks still in their clearing stages. It remains a little bit heavy and crowded over here at times on 240 East, trying to get up past Poplar. Had a stalled truck over here earlier and slowed it down as it increases just in a couple of spots out here, like around the zoo. That's got a little bit busy on and off today. Clear at the moment, I-40 over here at Hollywood as you work your way 40 East all the way over to White Station. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64, is your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. Go by and see them. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios, and joining us now on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, Steve Macy, the Senior Director for Team Business and Event Operations for the Memphis Showboats. He joins us now. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Final week of the regular season in the UFL. The Showboats at home for their last home game of the season against the Roughnecks. What can fans expect this weekend? First night game, only night game this season for the Showboats. What can fans expect this weekend at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium?
You know, I think one of the things we can expect is a little nostalgia. I mean, this is going to be the last time we see Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in its entirety until the renovation is done. So this is kind of a chance to see it kind of for the last time with the football game.
Really
and I know I'm going to have some moments where I'm looking around and remembering some pretty great moments and pretty great games that have been in that stadium since I've been in Memphis since 2015. And I think it's kind of a cool opportunity for folks to come out and reminisce a little bit and look at the old girl and think about what it's going to look like. I mean, it's going to be a great change in the future, but us old people, we get a little nostalgic from time to time. So that's one thing that's going to be happening Sunday night, and I think the rest of it, Brian, is just going to be fun.
Yeah.
We're really going to be celebrating another season of Showboats football, talking about how much fun our fans had, and whether we won or lost this year, it doesn't really matter. In this case, it's all about our fans having a great time and enjoying professional football. And we're going to be throwing a whole bunch of stuff up in the stands and inviting our season ticket holders to participate in the team run out, line in the tunnel for the team to run through, 40-yard dash, and then after the game, the season ticket holders are going to get a chance to come on the field and interact with our players and coaches for a few minutes before they head out.
Steve, you're right about you in that stadium. You came here with a mission of we're going to fix football and look at football at the University of Memphis. I would say you were at the ground floor laying the cornerstone, a part of fixing football with all these expectations now. And I don't want to speak for you, so I'm going to ask. I know you were very, very proud of that opening game first moment last year in your current job as senior director of team business and event operations for the Memphis Showboats, and you've done them a great job over the 2 years. You were very proud last year on opening day. But tell me, I think your proudest moment at that stadium was that sellout the day of game day against SMU.
100%. I mean, Brett, I think that's probably my favorite moment in my career, from being downtown at 4 o'clock in the morning, working with ESPN all week on the location, and then working with the city and the community on Beale Street, setting up signs and putting things in the windows, and just what Beale Street looked like on that morning, and then coming home to the stadium and setting up for the game that night, and the crowd. And I remember sitting there down by the Tigers tunnel, and I'm thinking about it right now, and getting getting emotional about it, and we had the Go on one side and Tigers on the other, and how loud it was. And I had people talking to me in the headphones, and I said, "Give me a minute. I want to listen to this." Mm-hmm. And just looking out and seeing the place packed, and it being all Tiger fans, and just how great the game was. It was a really, really fun day. It was an example of what that stadium could be, and what it can be. And I think it's one of those things you point to and you go, this could be like this all the time, if we can catch a little lightning in the bottle from time to time. And so that's, I'd love to have that environment for Showboat's game, and it's something we got to build for. But that was certainly my top moment in my career. And that the close second for me is totally different. It was being at the Fiesta Bowl in 2001 when Boise State beat Oklahoma. That was probably the best game I've ever seen in my life.
And that game launched a lot of the changes that we're now seeing in college football in that group of 5 position in the bracketing and their place in, New Year's Six bowl game. Steve Macy, our guest on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. That day of game day, Steve, I was with Ole Miss. We were playing at Auburn. We were playing at night, so I'm up, early. Wanted to just take it all in. Wanted to take SportsCenter in live from Memphis. Wanted to, take it all in. And as it counted down to the, coming to your city, fired for ESPN. And I texted you about 7:55, about 5 minutes before airtime. I said, "How is it?" And you didn't text me back because you were plenty busy for about 4 hours. You text me back. Still numb.
It was a good day. It was certainly a good day, and there's been many great days in that stadium. And I mean, I look back at some of the weird games that we had, from the tropical storm game when nobody was there and we're getting pelted with rain half the time, and that was a fun day.
Sideways rain.
I've never had a day where I didn't enjoy being at that stadium, whether it's with the Tigers or with the Showboats. It has been just a treat to be there. It's a privilege to get to work in sports. It's a privilege to get to try to entertain our city and to do some good things for our city. When we interact with people that have needs, and we were at Alpha Omega House last week, having the opportunity to do that. The fact that professional football players meant something to those vets that are struggling with finding some housing.
Sure is.
You get a chance to do some things like that. It's a cool thing to be able to say, yes, I get to be part of this. And so it's always a good day. And, getting to serve the community in this regard is a true treat.
AOVS is something, Alpha Omega Veteran Services. I used to work with Cordell Walker a lot. I'm going to say 2006, 7, 8, and 9. He would always bring in Jack Clark, Cardinal great Jack Clark, kind of for a fall event, golf and good times. And Alpha Omega Veteran Services truly doing the Lord's work in it.
Yeah, that place is special, and we presented them with a $20,000 check pregame last Sunday, and the executive director was shocked because he knew they were getting a check, but he had no idea what the amount was. And Albert Edwards is the new executive director, and he was walking off the field, pumping the check up in the air, showing to some of the guests from his house that were there that we had hosted the game, and they were all fired up. So it was a good thing that was between FedEx and Fox Sports that presented the check and provided the funds, and it's just a great opportunity.
I don't think me and Jack Clark raised it much, Steve.
but it's just neat that we get to do this stuff, right?
Sure
I mean,
is.
How
sure
cool
is.
do you get to be able to take some of the things that are important to you in your life and interject them into the business you're doing and do some good in your community at the same time. So it truly is a blessing.
Absolutely. What does the off season for you look like now? Once this game's over for you, when do you go and kind of reflect on the season, think about what went well, what didn't go well on your side? What does this off season look like in the UFL for you?
So obviously that process has already started.
Sure.
We've got a pretty lengthy report we're already working on for, hey, here's the things that we think we did well. Here's the things that we don't think went well. Here's the things from the first 2 seasons, really. Here's some things we're going to try going forward. And I think one of them is for sure, we've got to look at our seating chart. And, now that we know exactly what the stadium construction is going to look like and that the whole west side isn't going to be gone, the chairbacks are going to still live, can we sit there? and move some folks over there, and that's what I'm proposing. And so we've got some work to do. We're going to meet with the ownership group and the leadership group and talk all things showboats, from what do we do in the community to what are our sales efforts, what are our sales prices, what do we need to do to connect better. I think it's been hard this year to have that feeling of community connection every day with the team being out of town and coming into the games. And while that's the right thing for the long-term solution for a spring football league, it still doesn't make it our favorite, right? It's not the best thing that could happen to us right now. But, so what can we do better? What can we do that's a hybrid of, not just having the day before a home game to do some things, but how can we expand that time to do more in the community? Are there other ways for us to impact other elements in town? Can we do more charitable events that help out more things in the city to connect more people? And then, ultimately, we need to generate more revenue. I mean, that's the biggest thing in my head right now is what do we need to do to generate revenue so that we can have the model where the team can be here full time. So that has to come first. And so, what do we need to do to sell more suites? What do we need to do to sell more sponsorships? What do we need to do to sell more seats? And it's all connected, and that's where I'm going to spend 99% of my time in the off season is connecting with community partners, with groups, with people, and inviting them to be part of the Showboats family, inviting them to be part of professional football in Memphis, asking them to be an important part of this community fabric, our sports fabric that we have that's so important here in Memphis.
Steve, the old XFL started right after the Super Bowl went in. Then the USFL last year started a little bit later than the UFL started this year. Do you think you're in the sweet spot on starting? Because I know 1 or 2 weeks doesn't sound like a lot, but I think if you started maybe latter part of March, even a little bit later in March, April, you would have a little more promotion time apart from the NCAA basketball tournament. I know that's a New York Fox a corporate decision, but what do you think about scheduling sweet spot?
I think it's somewhere in there. I certainly think that right after the NFL season probably wasn't the best spot. I think people almost need a break, if you will, and say, hey, let me relax, and I can go a couple weeks without a football game. So I certainly like having it a little bit later in the spring. I don't want to compete with the NCAA tournament if I don't have to, but there's things you're going to compete with. You're going to compete with the NCAA tournament, baseball, and the Masters, and all of those things that are other sporting events that are happening. And then also you can get to a certain point in the summer where you start getting into that July 4th weekend, and do you lose people then? So I think we're within a pretty close window of where I think the sweet spot really is for spring football.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing for Sunday night's game that is interesting, the UFL announced, I believe yesterday or maybe the day before yesterday, that the winner of Sunday's game between Memphis and Houston will get the number 1 overall pick in the UFL draft. Not only that, they'll get the first pick in every round of the UFL draft. What do you think of this, the UFL kind of going out and saying, hey, let's both these teams play this game out and winner get something special for next season?
I think it's fun, right? I think it's, this is a league that has been founded on innovation and trying some new things to generate interest, whether it's the kickoff rule or the extra points rule or even the 4th and 12 rule, which I'm still mad about from week 3. But, I think this is a league that's tried to show different ways of doing some interesting things. And, we've seen many leagues fight with teams tanking at the end to try to help their draft status. And I think we've smartly said we're not going to allow that. Now, I also don't think that's real possible in this league, because this league is about guys getting tape on themselves so that they can show, that they're viable for either the NFL or just to continue to play at this level. And if you show that you're giving up or you're not playing hard, well, that's the last tape you're going to ever need, because no one's going to come after you again, either in this league or the NFL. So I think it's neat, and it is something to play for, and I think our guys have a lot of pride, and that winning this last game and bookending the season with wins is important to them, and I'd certainly love to send our fans home happy this season, and I think that a chance to play at nighttime, which is really cool. It's my preferred time, and I think we're going to have a really good crowd on Sunday night. And I hope people say, "Hey, $10. I'm going to come out, have a good time, see the Liberty Bowl or Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in its entirety for the last time, and have some fun with the showboats."
Definitely. And where can people go and get those tickets for Sunday's game?
So tickets are always available at theufl.com, theufl.com. The ticket window at 1 opens 90 minutes before kick, so at 4:30. And folks, I just really encourage you to come have some fun with us on Sunday. The game's entertaining. They're 3 hours almost exactly every time. It's a perfect TV window, as it was founded by TV guys, so they wanted to make sure it stayed as a good TV window, and so you can set your clock to it. And if you're a season ticket holder, we really appreciate you, and we'll be celebrating you all game.
Steve, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you on Sunday at the Showboats game.
Hey, guys, I've really enjoyed the opportunity to visit with you each week, and thank you for the time and the interest. And I think this is one of those things in the city of Memphis that makes Memphis a good place, right? We've got the Grizzlies, the Tigers, and the Showboats, and I think some of these things are what makes Memphis a neat community. If people want to either stay or to come here, it's a recruitment tool, and I just appreciate the chance to talk about that and to be with you guys each week.
Absolutely, Steve. Thanks so much.
Thanks, fellas.
Steve Macy from the Memphis Showboats, the Senior Director for Team Business and Event Operations. It's been so much fun talking to Steve every week about this Showboats team.
Top shelf guy.
Oh, absolutely. And even, we've talked about it a lot, Brett, on air and off air, even though the season is not going the way I think anybody wanted or expected it to go. Never ducked us, came on, answered all the questions, and had a good time with us. And so definitely got to appreciate Steve for that. And
good man.
And I hope a lot of people go out and support the Showboats in the last regular season game. I know I'll be out there Sunday night. Really looking forward to it. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we've gotten a lot of scheduling news in college football in terms of some of these times and what channel they'll be on, including the Tigers' big game on the road against Florida State. We'll talk about all of that next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing, help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus,
Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, SIG, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsofMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quirky's Barbecue in Cordova.
It's time to rock, Randy, in your new 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4-wheel drive. $25,889 or $389 a month. That's $5,206 off MSRP. How about a 2024 Dodge Hornet GT all-wheel drive? Packing up to 268 horsepower, plus 295 pound-feet of torque. 32,320, plus power up in our 2023 Dodge Charger SXT 4-door. $28,072. That's over $9,000 off MSRP.
So try past the rest and come to the best at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat along the pipe or online anytime. GossettMotorCars.net.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stack, Sportsworthy, and Brian Gates.
Well, a lot of scheduling news, times, and channels in college football today. I'll start with the Tigers. We'll get to a couple of the SEC teams after that. But for the Tigers, starting off the season versus North Texas at home on that first Saturday, August 31st, 6 p.m.
North Alabama.
What did I say?
North Texas.
Oh, North Alabama. Yeah, North Texas. I don't even know if they play North Texas this year. They do, but way later in the season. North Alabama, 6 o'clock on ESPN+. September 7th, Troy, 11 a.m. ESPNU. Back-to-back early ones, Brett, because that third week, the big one on the road at Florida State, 11 a.m. on ESPN.
I don't mind the 11 and 11 because going on the road to FSU, you know, you wouldn't want that to be the first kind of early bird game.
Sure.
It's going to be real early as the visitor.
Definitely.
I can't prove it, but these 11 o'clock games for the visitor has got to be tough.
It's got to be. And I'm with you. I can't prove it, but you just got to think that it's got to be
makes sense,
tough.
though.
Yeah. But I know it's
so
going to be
the
early.
week before, at least you're at home. You're
Sure.
home, but you're playing at 11.
Yes, you can experience that kind of early wake up, getting ready early, playing first game of the day, and then go to down to Florida and do it against Florida State. I don't love it, just as a fan, and the thought of going down there and being at an early one at Florida State. But hey, you know, I don't make the decisions; they don't make the decisions for me. So that will work. 11 a.m. against Florida State. Then that next week on the road against Navy, 2:30 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. And we talked about it all leading up to this. You know, Navy might not be a good team, but he might have struggled in recent years. But you know, that might be a tough turnaround between those three games. Really, Troy, which was a good Group of 5 team last year, obviously new coach. Florida State on the road and Navy on the road. It's gonna be a tough 3-week stretch there. But now we know, you know, times and channels for those.
And another big one against the Florida team, South Florida.
Yeah, and that one Friday night game, 6 o'clock on ESPN. I like the, obviously in the middle of the week they try to fill those ESPN slots up. So I like Memphis has a couple of those. Later in the last game of the season, Tulane, ESPN on that Thursday night. That's going to be Thanksgiving night, kind of filling the slot.
2 tough trips to Florida.
Sure, absolutely. And so, and USF's going to be better this year. We saw them last year, gave Memphis a scare, and they're going to be even better.
Gave Alabama a scare.
Sure did, in a real wacky one. But I mentioned that game against Tulane going to be 6:30 on Thanksgiving on ESPN because, Brett, what you've been alluding to for a while, Ole Miss and Mississippi State now going to be on Black Friday, November 29th, 2:30 p.m. on ABC for the Egg Bowl.
Prime time, that was the spot forever that Arkansas and LSU played in, and then Arkansas and Missouri in the battle line rivalry that nobody cares anything about either side. And now Ole Miss and State, the Egg Bowl is going to slide back to Friday. It was Friday in 2007 and 2008, but those were both JP games in 2007 in Starkville. The Mississippi State comeback that was the end of Ed Orgeron. And then in 2008, the hammering Ole Miss put on State that was the end of Sylvester Croom.
Wow.
Those were Friday games. So back to Friday for the battle for the Golden Egg at 2:30.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. I like it. It's going to be some really good games on that Friday after Thanksgiving. And for a lot of people here that maybe want to watch Tigers and Ole Miss, you can watch Tigers on Thursday.
I was in the distinct minority that liked Thanksgiving for the Egg Bowl. So now
hey,
they win.
Hey, I always liked it on Thanksgiving too. I mean, it was almost tradition. You eat Thanksgiving dinner and you get around the table and watch the Egg Bowl. So, but no, a lot of news coming out.
Usually
in college football.
a good fight and somebody gets fired.
That's right. You never knew what to expect in the Egg Bowl. So it was always good viewing during the Thanksgiving festivities. But let's go ahead and wrap up our first hour and get to a break. When we come back, we're talking the NBA with Keith Smith.
Jenkins Floors and More invite you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and opening June 1st in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
Visit Frontier Western Store today for new shirts and boots. Frontier is your top Carhartt store in the Mid-South. There's thousands of in-stock shirts and jeans. They have the classic K87 pocket tee in every color they make, including new ones just released. Available small to 4X. Want new jeans? Frontier has you covered with super tough work denim by Carhartt. And you've got to check out their selection of Ariat jeans for men, women, and children. You'll love how easy it is to find the size and style you need. Have you seen Frontier's remodeled world-famous boot showroom? It continues to expand. New styles by Ariat just arrived, plus plenty of in-stock proven classics too. Whether you need work or dress boots, trust that Frontier's the place to come. See thousands of pairs of Ariat boots and thousands more by Dan Post, Corral, Durango, Rocky, Twisted X, and others. And Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know just the local shop to visit. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and on the web at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started Wesley Financial Group to do one thing, help people get out of their timeshare nightmare. When you buy a timeshare, the timeshare company can raise your annual maintenance fees at will. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Want out of your timeshare? Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. You'll find the lowest rates on Tuesday through Thursday afternoons. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Get ready because the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event is on, and now is the best time to buy. You want 43 MPG Highway? We Gossett in 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $18,960 or $279 a month. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, we Gossett, $27,350 or $399 per month. And your summer adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE, we Gossett, $29,865 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
RHFO 9083, MSRP 19460, Sport RUO 110 764, MSRP 28070, Outlander RZO 53896, MSRP 30895, PF 695, acquisition fee 595, 15 cents excess mileage, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid to end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon, MPD. It's working a couple of wrecks out here. It looks good right now coming out of the Midtown area, at least for now here on 240 South at South Parkway. It's wanting to crank up even more with volume on 240 East coming past Bill Morris Parkway, working your way up towards Poplar with that heavy traffic flow. Still clear at the moment. You come off I-40 onto Austin P Highway going outbound. Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64, your full-service family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Time to talk NBA with Keith Smith from Spot Rack and the Front Office Show, and on Twitter X at Keith Smith NBA. Here's Keith Smith talking basketball with Bryant and Brett.
Keith Smith joins us now to talk the NBA from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He joins us on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Keith, thanks so much for joining us. One team already has their spot in the NBA Finals. We're waiting for the other one in the West. The Celtics making out of the East. We know how close you follow this Celtics team. What have you made of these entire playoffs as a whole? We kind of talked a little bit about it last week, but you see a lot of people on social media, on the internet, kind of talking about how this was, an easy road for them. They played a lot of beat-up teams and different things, but they're here in the NBA Finals. What have you made of the games that the Celtics team have played, and Jaylen Brown, who's played really well, especially in this last series?
Yeah, for me, I'm not going to even begin to try to suggest that they haven't had an easy path. They have, but I also don't don't really care all that much.
Sure.
It's getting there, not really how to get there. And I think for the Celtics, the big part of what we're seeing now is they took the regular season very seriously. They didn't do a lot of load management. They did some, but not a ton. But they mostly kept guys in the lineup. They played hard most games. They tried to win as many games as they could. And part of that is getting that number one seed and giving yourself that easy path. So I think that is, something that has been missed a little bit. As far as their performance, I think they've been pretty good. I think Indiana really challenged them because of the style of play that they use in the getting up and down the floor, the way they play offense and the like. I think that really challenged the Celtics. But I think we're in a spot where Boston is pretty well set. Sounds like they're going to hopefully have Kristaps Porzingis back and be ready to make a good run at winning a title.
Keith, some of the, and I like and enjoy it, but some of the early morning hot take TV, I love some of the bottom third Chiron kind of questions, debate subjects. If Boston, when Boston had the misstep in Game 2 of the Miami series, it was, does this show weakness? When they had the misstep in Game 2 of Cleveland, they did it again. Someone's going to catch up on them. Then when they sweep, does Boston have it too easy? I mean, some of these debate topics are laughable.
Yeah, I mean, it's gotten really ridiculous at this point with the way this team in particular has been discussed. They went into the playoffs, and it was a lot of, well, are they actually good? They're an Eastern Conference team. Are they actually good? They went 64-18, and they had a all-time historic scoring margin and beat up on a whole lot of the West teams, too. So I think we could say fairly confidently they were actually good. Yeah, they fooled around a little bit in the first couple rounds and lost a couple games. They probably shouldn't have, but that's part of what happens sometimes in the playoffs, especially when I think we're facing overmatched teams and we can probably get there and beat them. Then I think, now what's getting ridiculous, and it's only going to get more so because we're not going to see them for like 9-10 days by the time they play again. There's this, I don't know if Jason Tatum was actually happy that Jaylen Brown won Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and despite the fact that Jason Tatum was clapping, smiling, jumping up and down, and I don't know what more he was supposed to do to celebrate Jaylen Brown, but it's just, I think, when a team is really, really good, I think what happens, and I think this is true in all sports, instead of sometimes celebrating that team and saying, wow, these guys are really good, we spend an awful lot of time trying to tear them down and find something that they aren't, because then it's, well, if they're really good and they're just going to win, what's the point?
Right.
So instead it becomes, let's try to tear these guys apart and find a way to make them more beatable in our minds.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right about that. On the other side of that Eastern Conference Finals, the Pacers played well, and two of those games didn't have Tyrese Halliburton in there, and still were very competitive, kept those games close. What do you see from them next season, a year from now? Are they a team that kind of makes a jump from 6 this year to maybe in that top 4, or do you think this is about the spot they're going to be?
I think what we want to see from the Pacers is there going to be more growth, or are they going to be what the Atlanta Hawks from a few years back became, which was they had that one nice run, and then they just kind of fell back and then fell all the way out of the playoffs. And we're all hopeful that it'll go the other way for the Pacers. And I kind of think it will. I think they're set up to be a little bit more sustainable than that Hawks team. You've got Halliburton. You've got, they're, by all accounts, going to re-sign Pascal Siakam, likely to some form of max contract, and they'll have him. And then you've got a whole bunch of younger guys that are pretty good that I think there's still a lot of growth to come, as well as Andrew Kemper played. There's a whole other level he to as far as being a consistent type player. And then you've got Benedict Mathurin will be back next year. He was out with injuries. So we're in a spot where this Pacers team, I think, is built to last, and I think they'll be around for years.
I have talked this week. I've speculated. You're the perfect source for the definitive answer on this, Keith. I think some of the Celtic apprehension, some of maybe not, blessing them as one of the great teams or even the best team this year is because of Joe Mazzulla and how he had to take over the team from Ime Udoka and his youth and his appearance. He's young and he looks young. Do you think there's a lack of respect for him?
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think the fact that I want to say now he's 2 years in has the best winning percentage of all time of any coach that's coached, more than like 5 or 6 games. I think if he's not the highest, he's way up there on the list, and he's been a really good coach. And he, as you mentioned, he took over in a really difficult spot. He found out on the eve of training camp, hey, you're going to be this team's head coach, and good luck. And then on top of that, all the assistant coaches left because they got other jobs, and then his top assistant, Damon Stoudemire, left midway through the season to take a college job, and he was just kind of left by himself a little bit with a couple other assistant coaches that were like more back of the bench guys prior to everybody getting elevated as other people left. And now this year they went out, they got him Charles Lee, who's going to be leaving at the end of the year to coach the Hornets. But they also got Sam Cassell. They got a couple other experienced guys there. They got Jeff Van Gundy, who I think has probably been a pretty big help to him as an advisor. He's been around the team quite a bit. And I think Missoula's a pretty good coach. The thing I appreciate most is he has a style he wants to play in a belief in what he thinks works, and he doesn't really want to deviate from that as far as that's our main base and our concept. But if we need to change and adjust in games, he gets a lot of criticism because people are like, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't ever change anything, and it's complete nonsense because he does change things up. He moves guys around. He'll change lineups. He'll change approach. And I think a lot of it was the team growing into being a different team and him growing and learning as a coach, and it's all kind of come together this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I've liked what he's done a lot. We're talking to Keith Smith from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. On the other side, Game 5 tonight between the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. What have you seen in this series? Obviously, Timberwolves avoid elimination with a win in Game 4. Can they keep it alive tonight? Do we see Dallas close it out? What have you seen in the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Dallas won, but I think Minnesota's going to win. I think that crowd's probably going to be pretty bonkers tonight for them. I think they're going to be all kinds of fired up trying to will that team to a victory and then get it to a Game 6 and maybe then get it back home again for a Game 7. And I think this is the exact scenario where if any team's ever going to do this, come back from 0-3, this is the kind of team that can. They play defense, one, that helps. Then they are also in a position where their stars did not play well in the first few games of the season. So if they find their games, that starts to tip things. And then they've got 2 home games left, and that's absolutely huge. So I think we're in a spot where what we can see with the Timberwolves is there's a path. Now, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Dallas is going to lose tonight to Minnesota. Then I think Dallas, that'll be enough kind of a wake-up call, and they'll take care of business and get it done in 6 at home. But if Minnesota can force it, things will be wide open. And if they win tonight, all the pressure shifts to Dallas because nobody expects the Timberwolves to win. But here they are. They're hanging around. They're making it last longer than it should be. And Dallas is going to start to get a little tight and have to figure some stuff out. So I'm looking forward to that game tonight.
So much mea culpa and apology around Kyrie Irving from some in the national basketball commentariat. I don't think there's anything to apologize for, but some see the need to do that, and Kenny Smith and others have kind of led that to apologize to Kyrie Irving. The apologies could be a little early if they cough up this series. I wonder if they would then go back to being critical regardless. If they hang on and win it, his reception at TD Garden is going to be some kind of special, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if special is the word I would use. I like to use that for good things, but because it is not going to be nice. They do not like him up there in Boston, and I think it's one of those things where someone say, "Come on, it's been 5 years, like it's time to let it go." But he kept it going for a few years after that with his own actions, and I think he knew what he was doing. I think Kyrie is, in his nature, is a little bit of a playful guy, and he doesn't mind kicking the hornet's nest every once in a while and kind of stirring things up. But, all the apology stuff, I didn't fully understand it either because I don't remember a single person ever saying Kyrie Irving is a bad basketball player. All I ever remember was people saying, this guy is making life difficult on himself and his team in Brooklyn by doing kind of everything except for play basketball. And that was, I thought that was fair criticism. I think it's still fair criticism today. Sure. I never really fully got the idea of, we're not being real fair to Kyrie Irving and all these things. I thought all that was fair then. I thought it was fair game. And now I think we're in a position where let's see what he does here in the next little bit. And I would hope no one would come back around and say, "See, I told you." Now if he starts acting crazy again and doing stuff that is out of bounds and those kind of things, and God forbid, gets himself suspended here in these games, well, then that's going to be a different story. But as long as he's just playing basketball, I would hope that people are like, "Hey, he's playing pretty good basketball. You don't need to change your opinion on that. He's played good basketball all year, and he's been a really good teammate, been available for the Mavericks."
No kidding, Keith. You're so right on. And some of this, led by, I mentioned Kenny Smith, led by also Stephen A. Smith, and they keep talking about, he's from our neighborhood. Does that mean, because you're from anybody's neighborhood, does that mean you're critical proof that you can't ever offer any criticism?
Yeah, I would hope not. I would, it's kind of funny. I think it's a little bit, like I always think about this. I always say, with my own mom, there's never a better character witness I would want if I was ever on trial than my mom, because, she would say something along the lines of, "Hey, they shouldn't have walked in front of this car. I know he ran him over at 100 miles an hour, but they shouldn't have done that, right?" I think there's a little bit of that, right?
Why'd they build that car?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? There can be a little bit of, "Hey, we can criticize him because he's my guy, but you say anything, you're out of bounds. You shouldn't have said that." Now, I do think that's probably more of what it is. But, yeah, I mean, I would hope in their positions that they would be able to move past that, but it sounds like they're now going to bat for a guy they were pretty critical of previously.
Yeah. Keith, somebody I've really enjoyed watching throughout these playoffs have been the rookie Derek Lively for Dallas, and it looks like he's going to be a game-time decision tonight after taking that knee to the head 2 games ago, missed the last game. How much of an impact does he make if he's back for the Mavericks tonight, and how much do you think that helps their chances on the road, even though he's so young, might not lead the team in points or rebound? Every time he's out there, it seems like he's making a big impact on the court.
Yeah, what we like to talk about a lot is you feel him out there, right? You just know he's on the floor because he's such a shot blocking threat. He's a great rebounder, and he's a very improved passer. And on offense too, he's a great lob threat. So you feel like, we kind of got Luke under control. We got him under control. He's going to take this late clock floater. Oh wait, there's actually a lob over our heads that Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford's gone up to get it and throw it in. Now, what's different is Gafford's there. He's doing everything he can. But I think when Lively's not there, Gafford has to play a little more cautious. And I think we really saw that in Game 4. I don't think he was quite as aggressive on the rebounds, quite as aggressive shot blocking-wise, because he kind of knows in the back of his mind, if I get myself in foul trouble today, we're going to Dwight Powell. We're not going to Derek Lively. And I think when you have the combo of Lively and Gafford, both guys just go out there, they play as hard as they can for whatever time they're going to get, because they know if I get in foul trouble or if I wear myself out, the other guy's coming in to step in for me, and we're going to play pretty well and keep things moving. So it's been a big breakthrough for Derek Lively, and I think he's going to be a really special player because there is, as good as he is right now, there's so much room to still grow as a player, and that's really fun when we get there with a young kid.
Keith Smith with us talking the NBA from Spot Track and the Front Office Show. He's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Keith, we know for the teams, we know for Boston, and we know for the winner of the West that we presume will be Dallas. They're going to get all the accolades, and they deserve that. They're going to be playing in the NBA Finals. I think both of these, one defeated and one soon to be defeated teams in the conference finals, they had great years. Indiana and Minnesota can be proud of the years. There were other teams in the playoffs that had great years. I think Oklahoma City can really head into next year feeling proud. The Knicks can feel that way. So there's going to be one Larry O'Brien trophy, but the other teams had great years.
Yeah, I like to say all the time, there's one champion, but there can be a whole lot of teams that had successful seasons. And I think when we get so drilled into our mindset of it's title or bust for every team, that's just the wrong way of thinking. Yeah, if Boston doesn't win a championship, it wasn't as good a year because they've been driving towards that for years, and especially this entire season. But if it's a team like the Orlando Magic, wildly successful season, they made it back to the postseason. They pushed Cleveland in the first round, almost got out of the first round. That's huge. And now what you're looking for is let's build on that. Just like there were teams that had extremely disappointing seasons. Like Like, I would put, now it's nobody's real fault, I don't think, but I would put the Grizzlies in that bend where it's been, hey, we've done nothing but win here for the last few years, and now this year all the wheels came off, everybody got hurt, and we had a disappointing season. But that's okay. It's more of what do you make of it? What do you do after that, right? And that's where it becomes big. But I do like to always remind people, every team comes in with different goals. Sure, at media day, everybody's going to be like, our goal is to win the championship. We want to raise the trophy at the end of the year, but that's not really exactly the organizational goal for everybody. Sometimes it is, hey, let's win 10 more games than we did a year ago. Let's not be in one of the top 3 picks in the draft going into the lottery. Let's try to, compete for a playing spot. Let's be a playoff team. Let's win a round. And I think a lot of teams, when we look back on it, they'll say, hey, we had really successful seasons, the ones you called out. And then for me, a big one, like I said, is Orlando.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be fun tonight to see what happens in Game 5 between Dallas and Minnesota. And as always, Keith, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Keith.
Thank you, Keith. Keith Smith with us from the front office show and from Spot Track. So I texted Keith last night about some other things, just visiting. Sure. And I said, well, what's it like having a night off? He goes, what are you talking about? I'm watching. He said, I'm watching video for draft.
There is no night off right now for Keith.
He always busy, and we always love having him. Do you think it ends tonight?
I don't know. I really don't. I think I'm kind of like Keith said at the beginning, where I would not be surprised at all if Dallas wins this game, but you got to think going back home, Minnesota's crowd's going to be juiced. As much as we might say that, there's no way you can come back from 3-1 or 3-0, those fans in Minnesota don't think that. They think there's a chance, and they're going to do everything they can to help it happen.
That's right.
So
somebody's going to be the Boston Red Sox of the NBA someday.
Exactly. It's going to happen someday.
0 for 155 right now.
Sure. And so, I think that crowd's going to be juiced, but we've seen every game this series, doesn't matter what arena they're in, it's going to be a tight game, and I think it's going to be anybody's ball game.
Down 3-0 in hockey, once or twice somebody's come back?
Oh, man, I think so. I don't know off the top of my head, but
goose egg in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
155 down 3-0 in any best of 7 to come back, and that's what they're facing in this for Minnesota. If they were to do it, now I know we won't have the drama of a bloody sock, and we don't have the drama of Boston and all, the curse of the Bambino. Will it be close to as canonized as the Red Sox got?
I think it could be, yeah.
I don't think so for this reason. It was the Red Sox.
That's
the curse
true.
of the Bambino.
Yes, that is true.
And against their biggest rival, Yankees, those markets, and just all the people in the media that are fans of those teams.
That's a good point.
Timberwolves don't have a national constituency.
No, not at all. And even though Dallas is big, it's not anywhere close to New York or Boston
and the
or
bloody
like
sock.
that. Well,
I mean, come on. I mean, how good was that?
Stories written about it, Brett.
Big, thick coffee.
Of course.
Dictionaries have been written about it, and deservedly.
For sure. It's a great story.
I mean, down 3-0 to your biggest rival, Yankees, and just, have no hope. The Dave Roberts steal got it all started.
Sure did. No, you're absolutely right about
now
that.
the manager of Lee Odwin's Dodgers. I know right now in a lot of workplaces, a lot of summertime retreats, office get-togethers, let Jason's Deli cater for any event like that. They will take care of you, bringing more to the table. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli with a variety of delicious choices for all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner time, low delivery fees, vegetarian, gluten-sensitive options, same-day, last-minute orders welcome. When you feel like you haven't gotten it done just right, step aside, let Jason's Deli step in, and that's when they excel. House accounts available. You can contact any deli about it, whether you're dining in, to go, or delivery. Let Jason's Deli hit the spot for you with all the locations we have in our area, always online at jasonsdeli.com, but in our area over by across from MUS on Ridgeway at Poplar and Highland, by the U of M, down in Olive Branch, out in Cordova. There's a location very close to you. Healthy, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free, and it's all about choice, whether you seek a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids meals, and all those salads you can order off the menu, like the chicken club salad, the taco salad, the Mesa chicken salad, the nutty mixed up salad, and then that great salad bar in every location. Over 30 items to choose from for you to prepare it however you like. And the catering, like I talked about, for any event coming up this summer, vacation, Bible school, scouting, Little League, the office get-togethers, whatever it is, let Jason's Deli do it for you. With all the locations, one near you, Ridgeway Road by the U of M at Poplar and Highland, in Cordova and in Olive Branch, and complimentary free ice cream in all those locations. Catering anytime, anywhere. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, let's get to a break. We've got a couple of baseball games going on right now, a couple more happening earlier this afternoon, and a lot from last night. So let's get to a break. When we come back, we're talking baseball.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11, here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I've got Jason, the main man Marshall, here, and he's ready to start something big at Gossett Volkswagen on the pike. What's up, Jason?
Randy, I've got 42 MPG on the highway on the all-new 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for only $249 a month. Or take your pick from the 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or 2024 Taos SE. We got it at $279.28 a month.
That's a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month. Or take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE, $279.28 a month.
And Randy, you know the deal. Make me an offer because no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 coming to Pike. Online, GossettVWMemphis.com.
Where we're charging for it and charging less every day.
Many real estate companies out there, but then there's Banyan Tree Realtors on the Cottonville Town Square. There are hands-on, family-owned boutique real estate companies whose agents have been offering exceptional attention to their clients for over 40 years. In an ever-changing world, Banyan Tree continues to maintain a small-town personal charm while providing a worldwide connection through its internet marketing presence. Personal service will never go out of style at Banyan Tree Realtors. Their agents are people you can trust, offering service you deserve. From residential homes to commercial properties, farmland, land lots, and historical houses, Banyan Tree has the expertise you can rely on. So if you're downsizing, upsizing, moving in, or moving on, give Banyan Tree Realtors a call today. Craig Smith and Mary Jean Smith and their agents are ready to serve you. Call today at 901-620-8920 or 901-359-2520.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, a legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts.
putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the bike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 mpg? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month. Both $39.99 due signing, all 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months. Available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Incentives price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695, $650 acquisition fee, ED6 P5610964, MSRP $50,200, Telluride RG $510,849, MSRP $38,305, Forte LXS RE78169, MSRP $21,820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We've already had several accidents over here on 240 East near Popular. They've moved all of them, but I'm telling you, it's been wild over here the last hour or so as it continues to build at times in that construction zone. It was okay 20 minutes ago. Now it's starting to get heavy at times there on 55 North as you work your way between McLemore and South Parkway. Again, that's in that construction. Here comes that steady flow of traffic on 240 East from Mill Branch all the way out to Bill Morris Parkway. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Memphis. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And not a busy day in Major League Baseball today. Thursday, travel day. We know how it goes, but we already have some finals in the books. Rays beat the Athletics 6-5 in extra innings. Had to go 12 innings for the Rays to get that win at home. The Twins beat the Royals 7-6. In a good game, and then also Brewers on top of the Cubs 6-4 in what's been a really, really fun series to watch all week long. Right now, one game going on. Astros on top of the Mariners 3-0 as the Mariners only 2 hits through 5 innings. Later tonight, only 4 games tonight. Tigers, Red Sox, D-backs, Mets, Nationals, Braves, and then we'll end the night with Yankees and Angels. So a limited schedule today, but some good series starting tomorrow, and we've got to be careful, Brett. All of the talk and I think Lee Aldwin actually, while he was uploading our podcast yesterday, called it gloating, which I told him I didn't really like that word. You know,
a little loaded.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I like the word gloating. But we got to be careful, Brett, because the man we talked to...
We were gloating?
Well, that's what he said. He said we were gloating about the Cardinals. I think actually you said Bryant was gloating about the Cardinals.
Okay,
That's okay.
okay.
You know, you didn't put your name in there. Just put mine. That's all right. But we got to be careful because the nice man we're going to talk to at 5 o'clock is a darn Philly fan. And it's going to be
21 over 500
It's going to be an interesting series this weekend for the Cardinals against the Phillies.
21 over for the Fighting Phils.
Crazy.
That is very impressive. You know, a team right there the last couple of years. And for the Cardinals to finally scratch back to 500, 27 up, 27 down yesterday, 54 games played, so 108 to play. Would you take 60 and 48 right now?
Oh, absolutely, Brett. I would take that 80 days a
87
week.
gets you something, doesn't
Well,
it?
sure, absolutely. At the very worst, it avoids that back-to-back losing seasons, which is 3 weeks ago.
No, but 87 punches. You're into October. Now, you may not last long.
Brett, but my point is a week ago, 2 weeks ago, we were worried about going 2 years with being under 500. That certainly gets there, and I think everyone's mindset has maybe changed a little bit over the last 2 weeks.
We had traded the Stan Musial statue 2 weeks ago.
For sure. And so it's crazy to me how much, maybe it's back to the gloating, I don't know, but how much the mindsets have changed.
Division.
It's not a good division. But I had one of my buddies text me this morning, a guy that is usually kind of pessimistic about the Cardinals, especially over these last couple of years. He texted me and he said, "Bryant, Cardinals might be back." I said, "Okay, we are definitely talking now."
Welcome back.
So
have you heard the story that the day that Ollie Marmol lost his mind, Paul Goldschmidt was texting with Adam Wainwright and telling him, and Rob Fisher really touches on this and charts the record since that day of him losing his mind. He said, "This team needed this. We're going to win this division." Texted that to Adam Wainwright that day.
Wow. Well, I remember jokingly telling my friends the day I had, because I was watching it with some of my friends, I said, that's what this team needs. That's the turnaround. You need some fight in them. That's the fight. And I didn't really believe it at the time. And then
I didn't believe it at all.
I don't know.
Brian, I just updated my MLB app, and it's really weird. I see the St. Louis Cardinals in second place in the National League Central.
How about that, Brett? What is happening?
And in the wild card, in the all-important loss column, which is really weird right now with the variance of games played of one team compared to another, they would be the 5 seed.
How about that,
loss
Brett?
column?
Oh, wow.
That'd be going down to Atlanta.
Sure.
Getting swept 2-0.
Well, that's a different discussion, Brett.
Got weird down Atlanta one time, didn't it, with the
yes, it
infield fly rule.
That is very
which
true.
Was robbery for the Braves.
Was.
That was so bad.
It definitely was.
I think he was closer to the warning track than the dirt on the infield.
Well, yes.
Our
with
producer,
you on that.
great guy, David Basham, with us then. He was a big Brave fan.
Oh, geez.
And he lost it over
bet.
it. I said, Bash, I didn't do it.
I believe it, though. I'd lose my mind if I was watching.
And then the Cardinals hit him with the 10 spot one year in the playoffs in the top of the first.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was not too long. What was that? Maybe 2018, 2019, maybe?
No, we talked about that, though. Since 2014, the Cardinals have won one playoff series.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to believe, but
one.
Yeah, that's not good. Make it 2 this year, Brett. Make it 3 this year, Brett.
I hope so. Like I predicted in preseason, my Cardinal-Yankee World Series is alive right now, Brian.
It really is. Yankees playing good ball. They're 38-19 right now. I mean, good ball, but who would have thought? I mean, if we had said going back to 2 weeks ago that in 2 weeks, Brett, the words "my preseason predictions for the World Series" will still be alive. You wouldn't have paid me money to believe that.
No, wouldn't have gotten close to it, and so it's really evening up. Makes this weekend will be a lot of fun in Philly.
I mean, tough
tomorrow night. Miles Michaelis against Aaron Nola.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Phillies. They're throwing some good pitchers this weekend. I mean, you've got Nola tomorrow, and then you've got Suarez, who's come out and has been electric this season. 9-1 with a 1.75 ERA, and then you get Taijuan Walker on Sunday. So it's not gonna be easy against these pitchers, but you've seen these bats have started to wake up for the Cardinals, and we talked about Mason Wynn. I think
the pitching's really set up for the Cardinals this weekend. Though you go Michaelis, Gray, Lynn. That's about all you can ask.
That's a good setup. I think it's gonna be 3 really good pitching matchups, and should put him in a spot, especially with what these bats have been doing. Wynn's been looking good. Gorman's been swinging a hot bat. So who knows? We'll see what happens this weekend. I'm excited.
For Aaron Boone, it got wild again last night. He was tossed early.
Yeah.
I don't know how far he is away from Bobby Cox's record, but it feels like he's going for it, doesn't he?
Brett, he likes to get thrown out of games, I'm afraid.
And there's not much to get tossed over anymore, is it?
No, I was kind of with him last night.
Unless you're just running hot and you want to get tossed.
Sure. But last night they called the base runner interference, and I didn't think it should have been called, but whatever.
I got to it after he had been tossed, and I didn't get to see a good replay of it, but. One of two favorite things for me when managers get tossed is sometimes when they want to be, and they go out and they tell the umpire, now I'm going to do whatever till you throw me out.
Yeah.
But then another fun one is like the night before is very fractious and everybody's on edge, and the next day, and a lot of times managers don't take the lineup card out there unless it's the first game of a series or like the World Series, it's big ceremonial stuff. But when they go out there, maybe like on a third game on a Sunday, and everybody's heated, and the managers throw down at home plate, it's the baseball equivalent of the goalies dropping their gloves.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's one of my favorite things. What was it last year? Davey Martinez, who ended up crawling on the ground to try to get an ejection. That was gold last year. That was my favorite all time.
As a World Series winning manager.
Well, and I said it the day after he did it. He was getting thrown out to save his job. That was a I'm fighting for my team ejection, and it worked. He still got a job.
It did work. I sent you the video, and I talked about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Remember when I talked about it? Yesterday was the 50th anniversary back to Lenny Randle, and you could put in any Google search for Lenny Randle and his drag bunt. And I told you a few weeks ago about it. It was one of my all-time favorite dust-ups.
Yeah.
And it boiled over from the night before.
Sure.
And then the pitcher throws behind him. Well, I mean, come on now. Those guys, they can put that ball wherever they want it.
Exactly.
And you miss that badly. You're trying to. So on the next pitch, he grooves one, and he drags the bunt perfectly that lures the pitcher over, and instead of just running down the line, he lays into the pitcher, then runs down the line and is fighting everybody.
I love it.
First baseman, second baseman fighting his own first base coach. Benches emptied. Cleveland and Texas, and I didn't see it live then, didn't see it until the following week on the Game of the Week, and Mel Allen would do the great highlights of this week in baseball.
Yeah.
But read about it and knew about it, and Lenny Randle got his money's worth 50 years ago yesterday.
Yeah, you said that to me. It's one of those brawls that if you ever and as a kid you always look these videos of like the greatest all-time brawls or whatever, and it's always in there. But you brought up a good point that I've never even thought about of the, thinking about it. Okay, he throws behind you and goes, okay, I'm going to bunt this right down the line.
Then he goes full spider and lures him right into his web.
I love it. I've never even thought about it before, but planned out and the skill to be able to go, okay, I'm going to bunt this right here and then go out and completely just spear him and tackle him.
I want to say
field.
in that same stretch, Lenny Randle, I think Pat Corrales was manager of the Rangers then.
Okay.
I think he fought him.
Oh, wow. Everybody. Anybody that gets in his way.
Man, you got somebody mad, but he's just ready to fight everybody in the house.
Well, that's a brawl. I mean, I think, honestly, and I am not for all-out brawls, but I'm telling you, if these series if you're in a series that gets heated, throw that one on the video board before the game starts. I mean, bulletin board material.
Red Sox and Yankees had one, and this is why you don't want them. We can chuckle and be lighthearted about it, but it can be very serious.
Oh, for sure.
And Lou Piniella dropped Bill Spaceman Lee on his head and shoulder and wrecked his career. That was the end of his shoulder.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it can get scary out there for some of these guys.
Cardinals and Cubs had a Donnybrook one time. Bill Madlock was involved in it, trying to bunt and trying to bat and trying to stand. And Roboski was beating everybody, and Ted Simmons was fighting everybody. And I was listening to that game, and Mike Shannon said, we got a melee, old-fashioned Donnybrook.
Oh, I love that. One of my favorites was when Rougned Odor dropped Jose Bautista, all-timer.
With a punt.
Oh, man.
Buster Douglas had nothing on him.
Oh, I mean, I love that. Rougned Odor, oddly enough, one of my favorite baseball players. Love Rougned Odor. I don't know why, but he's a Ranger, and I just like watching him play. He's a good player.
And all right, now tell me this.
Okay.
Tell me this. We don't chuckle about any other sport fighting, football, basketball, any other sport like we do about baseball. Why do we tacitly accept it?
I think I want to say it's because of kind of what we talk about with all of these brawls is, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, especially today, if you have a quote-unquote brawl, it's guys running out there and yelling at each other. And there's
we're throwing as many
punches. They're just pushing
right
each other.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why, I mean, you can pick and choose over the last 15 years the amount of actual brawls you've had in baseball where something like that, where a guy's actually getting dropped and, fists are being thrown. I think that's why, because it's not as much a brawl as it is.
It, but in almost no way the fans get involved.
Right,
We
right.
know
Yes.
fans can and
Sure.
have in football and in basketball. But, I don't know. Now I don't remember who was chasing who with the bat. Either Juan Marichal was chasing Johnny Roseboro. Johnny Roseboro was chasing Juan Marichal. But you can't be chasing a guy around with a bat.
Yeah, I know. That's dangerous. Very dangerous.
And he was going to kill him.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's considered a weapon, I guess, at that point.
We got to settle way down.
Yes.
My least favorite sports fight, but yet kind of fun. And a few years ago, Keegan Bradley and Miguel Angel Jimenez. Nothing like a fight at the golf course.
I love that.
Nobody's getting hurt at the golf course.
That might be the all-timer. If you're going to rank different sport fights, I think golf might be number one. That's great. I love that.
And the replies were great because Miguel Angel Jimenez always had that bun.
Sure.
And you just know he had like a poison dart or something.
Oh, yeah.
He's
He's
that he
hiding
could stick
something
in your
there.
neck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just like the wrestler.
The full James Bond.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I love that. Good James Bond. I love that. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Gold has gone up more than 81% in the last 5 years. Central banks are ditching the dollar and U.S. Treasuries are buying more gold. Everyone wants to protect their retirement with gold. You can do the same. And if you do it this month, Noble Gold Investments will give you a free quarter-ounce gold standard coin if you open a qualified account. Just use the promo code GOLD. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Success is more than a destination. It's a path you take one step at a time. It's dedication, it's fortitude, and it's the hard work and passion inside of us that comes before all recognition. That's what Stifel's been doing for over 130 years, and it's why Stifel is one of the fastest growing wealth management firms in the country. From helping you plan for retirement, save for college, and leave a lasting legacy, Stifel has you covered. As a client, you'll have access to award-winning equity research and investment strategy views, enabling you to make informed decisions regarding your hard-earned wealth. Because success is the drive it takes to keep pushing. It's the passion to keep investing. It's the best of each of us made better by the best in all of us. And that is where success meets success. Find a financial advisor at Stifel.com. That's STIFEL.com. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange.
The headlines remind us daily, the world is a dangerous place. The elites in charge say everything's fine, stop noticing. But you know better. And your gut knows that time is short to prepare for a world that is 4 missed meals away from chaos. My Patriot Supply has helped over 3 million families become more self-reliant and is the company Americans trust to prepare. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contain delicious breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Secure at least 1 food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save $200, plus get free shipping on all their Ready Hour 3-month emergency food kits. You're not ready if it's not Ready Hour Foods. My Patriot Supply also has solar power generators, water filtration units, biomass stoves, heirloom seeds, and critical survival gear. Shop MyPatriotSupply.com today. MyPatriotSupply.com.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better. I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe. Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whit Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy. You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, I've got a couple big numbers today that I want to get to. One in the NBA, one in Major League Baseball. I'll start with the NBA big number, and it comes from Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks. My big number is 150. Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks needs 5 more assists to become the first NBA player to have a single postseason with at least 150 rebounds, 150 assists, and 50 made threes. I'm pretty sure he has a good opportunity to do that tonight. If not tonight, we certainly know whether they win or lose, they'll play another game. So we could definitely be seeing something special from Luka Doncic tonight or in the next couple of games.
We are. Are we seeing a modern Larry Bird?
And we might be. I mean, Luka's an unbelievable player. He is incredible. And I think you're starting to see it highlighted.
What the next 10 years can be.
It really can be. I think something that I've heard a lot of people say lately, and I'll be honest, I like Luka. I've always liked Luka, and so him and his arguing and complaining to the officials has never really bothered me. I've just kind of accepted it as something that Luka is. But I've heard a lot of people say this postseason that they're noticing he's doing it far less often during the playoffs, and that they like it, and they feel like they can watch him more since he's not complaining to officials. So I'm glad that people can watch him and see.
It started in Dallas. We're at a mall in Dallas.
Oh, jeez.
And on one end of the mall,
they're all going to Dirk.
No. It's two-man table.
Oh, jeez.
On one end of the mall is table Luka and Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh, jeez.
On the other end of the mall is Tony Romo and Dak Prescott, who's got the longer line.
The Cowboys. It's America's team, Brett.
Every time.
Good Lord. Every single time. That's a good one. Did you see the other night Micah Parsons, I guess, had bought a Dirk jersey and saw him over there sitting courtside and ran over and got an autograph from Dirk. I love that. That's great. Micah Parsons awesome.
He's got the 49er game circled, doesn't he?
Brett.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I think he doesn't really care about that one. No, yes, it is absolutely circled. That's the biggest game for him.
Just checking. My big number is 2,632.
Oh, that is a big number.
Today, in 1982, 42 years ago today, it began on a Sunday afternoon at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore on 33rd Street. Cal Ripken ran out there, was in the starting lineup, played, and did it for 2,631 more nights after that for a streak that will never be broken. He went 0 for 2 that day, and what an accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible.
To pass and obliterate the Iron Man, Larry Lou Gehrig's record.
That's incredible. Wow. I did not realize the significance of today. How about that?
And I went to see the Orioles and the Mariners about a month later, and he was already phenom, and the Orioles went on and he was Rookie of the Year, and the Orioles went on and lost on the last day of the year that year to the Brewers, and then the next year, his second year, they won it, defeating the Phillies in the World Series, and like Dan Marino, got to it early and never back. Had a playoff team or two in the 90s for 96 for Cal Ripken, but really never made another run close to a World Series after winning it all in 83, his second year. Rookie of the Year and beat out by the Brewers in 82 on the last day of the year, because I was hoping for a Brewers or Orioles-Cardinals World Series.
Sure, of course. Wow, that's incredible. I have one more big number I want to get to, Major League Baseball, so it fits right in with yours. I saw this, and it blew my mind. My big number is the number 6. Seth Lugo of the Royals is the second pitcher in the modern era to win each of his first 6 road starts of a season, while also allowing 0 or 1 runs in each one. The other is Greg Maddux, who did so in the first 7 road games of his Cy Young winning season in 1995. So incredible company for Seth Lugo.
Oh, Greg Maddux. In those games when he would have a shutout on less than 90 pitches.
Incredible.
Just incredible stuff. And it wouldn't splash water.
Oh, no, not
at
all.
He wasn't juicing it up there, blowing people away.
No,
he
was not.
The art of pitching.
You're absolutely right.
There's a lot of different ways to get it done. You can go full Nolan Ryan, or you
100%.
can paint the corners.
Absolutely. And some people do not see it that way. They just see you got to just mow them down, get up there.
I don't think we respect soft tossing righties like we do soft tossing lefties.
We 100% don't. And I guess different reasons why not, but whatever. We actually have a special big number today. Lee Aldwin brought one to the table.
Bring it on.
So come on, Lee Aldwin.
Step it up.
Give us your big number.
My big number of the day is 30. And I think that's the amount. It's not significance to it, but I think that's the amount of points Luka will score tonight. I think that he's kind of some synonymous with a triple-double, 30, 10, and 10, and so this is my prediction of how many points he will score tonight.
He almost has to.
Hey, it feels like it. It feels like it. And now, Lee Aldwin, you got to practice. You got to be listening close to big numbers, because we determined Johnny was the judge of big numbers when he was here.
Johnny stepped in as the hanging judge.
You're gonna have to be the judge of big numbers. So you're gonna have to let us know when we don't do well and when who's the winner and the loser. Not that there has to be a winner or a loser. I don't know why Johnny ever thought
Johnny started it.
Winner. He sure did. He'd come in and say, "Well, Brian, that wasn't a very good big number for you. That's a great big number from Brett. What are we talking about? I didn't know there was a right or wrong answer for big number of the day." Oh, jeez. Let's go ahead and wrap up our second hour and get to a break. And when we come back, we're talking a whole lot of Tigers with Greg Gaston.
On these prices at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown.
This is heavy, Doc. I mean, Randy, let's go with 42 MPG Highway and a 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE for $249 a month. Or take your pick from a 2020 2024 Tiguan S or 2024 Taos SE for only $279.28 a month.
Great Scott, McNate! You got it going on at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown on Winchester Road. Let me hit those deals again. 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE, $249 a month, or take your pick. 2024 Tiguan S or Taos SE, $279.28 a month.
Your future's whatever you make of it, Randy, so let us help you make your future down here at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettBWG.com.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys, bag boys.
Participation may vary. Each choice of JDC or crispy chicken sandwich for 4 piece nuts, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher. Hi, it's the Herd. The action's heating up at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. It's quick. Use the code HERD, H-E-R-D, for new customers to get a no-sweat bet up to $1,500 if your first bet doesn't hit. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. One no-sweat bet per new customer issued is one bonus bet based on amount of initial losing bet. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.co/bball for eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes? With temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking the bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Highland Branch. Jason's Deli is wholesome food and no surprises. Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. The police are still trying to sort out a couple of earlier accidents. TDOT has been helpful today with those help trucks out here on a couple of stalled vehicles. We've had numerous wrecks already today on 240 East, where it is heavy over here up by Poplar as it gets even busier in the last few minutes coming out of the Midtown area. On 240 South here at South Parkways, we check it out live. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
96 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. From the Tigers sideline, it's Tigers Talk with Memphis broadcasting legend Greg Gaston. Hear Greg weekday mornings on Sports 56 Mornings, along with Eli Savoy from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. On Twitter X at Greg_Gaston. Here's Greg with Bryant and Brett.
Greg Gaston joins us now to talk Tigers. You can hear Greg every single morning with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli. Greg, thanks so much for joining us. And we got to start with the big news yesterday. David Jones is going to keep his name in the NBA draft instead of coming back for his final year at Memphis. What was your reaction when you saw that? It broke while we were on yesterday, and I'll be honest, I said it yesterday, I said it again today. I was shocked by the decision. I thought that Memphis had a really good shot of him coming back, and so I was very surprised. What was your reaction to the news yesterday?
Well, good afternoon, gentlemen. I was the complete opposite. I've said it on your show. I've said it on my show all along. I felt the entire time that he wasn't coming back. When people were throwing out percentages, I said, I think there's a 20% chance he comes back. I had enough time dealing with him individually, doing some things with him, interviewing him. I just had a feeling that this guy had he had made up his mind, setting up his future, whether that's the NBA or not, wanting to become a professional, wanting to move on with his life. That was just my gut feeling. I had no inside information. I was not told this by David Jones himself. And I know Penny had gone on a couple of times with interviews saying that he felt it was 70% that he was coming back. And, of course, Penny would know a lot more than I would about that situation. But I just had a gut feeling that it was going to happen. So when that news came down yesterday, I was not surprised.
Greg, anytime Coach Hardaway throws out percentages, I'm glad he's not giving the 5, 7, and 10-day weather forecast.
Yeah, Penny's probably best. You know, here's the thing. One, I love that he does that because he always gives us some ammunition to run with because he does shoot from the hip. But
it's
two,
never accurate.
It's not been accurate, unfortunately. There's a lot of hyperbole with some of the things that he says, and then when he throws out the percentages, certainly that's the way he felt. I'm sure he felt that way. He felt he was going to come back, but for whatever the reason is, financially, Memphis certainly can do a pretty good job with the NIL and now a better job with the additional money from FedEx. I don't know if David Jones got a promise for a two-way. You get a two-way deal, I think you're in pretty good shape with an opportunity to move up the ladder for an NBA team. But there's a lot of people out there, including people who do this for a living, that watch him in the combine and say, look, he's deficient in too many areas that they don't see it. I've always thought that he is a really talented offensive player that doesn't have great handles and needs to be a better defensive player, but can rebound the basketball well. So he does a couple of things really well, extremely well, and a couple of other things that he has issues with. But so many different times he carried that team, put the team on his shoulder, and came through with clutch shots. It just, to me, I thought, why not take a flyer on him in the second round? I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if he's had individual workouts that have turned out good for him. But I know the Combine and the news we got from the Combine wasn't that good. But I'm wishing him well. I like David Jones. I hope that he reaches his goal of making it to the NBA and playing in the NBA one day. But certainly for the Memphis basketball program, this is a big hit. This is just about a 22-point-per-game scorer and about an 8 or 9 rebound per game rebounder. So that's a lot of ammunition you lose from that decision.
Greg, I'm not saying this at all to be adversarial with you or trashing him on the way out. In fact, I said yesterday I wish I had said these things a week ago, well before the announcement, where it would not sound like, bitter guy leaving town. Greg, I respectfully, I don't think they're losing that much. He was 22-9 and was a great player on a very bad team in a very bad league.
Yeah, but look, they turned out to be bad because they didn't reach their goals and they didn't make the tournament and they struggled in the American Conference tournament. They didn't make the NCAA tournament. But at the beginning of the year, when they got off to a 15-2 start and were ranked 10th in the country, people weren't saying that. And he, along with Quinterly, who was making some clutch threes to win games, everybody was on their high horse and was incredibly happy with what was going on. And remember, David Jones was not the guy that was talked about last summer. Jordan Brown was the guy who was talked about, then Javon Quinterly, then Jaquan Walton. People were not talking about David Jones. I don't think people knew who David Jones was. I, quite honestly, didn't know a lot about David Jones until I did my homework on him, that he started at DePaul, went to St. John's. Hell, he was playing for the Dominican national team when Memphis went down and played in the
August.
So,
right.
Exactly. So
but that
I don't
was
know.
to pay him NIL money, but that's okay. That's fine. It's
Sure,
all
no,
legal.
I understand. I understand the situation. But my point is that the accolades weren't rolling in the summer about David Jones was going to be the guy to carry the team. So he did a lot of really good things. He did some poor things as well. He turned the ball over at an alarming rate. But to me, I don't know how this team will be, this new team. And nobody knows at this point. So maybe it turns out that this team and this collection of players play more together as a unit, collectively, and go on to make a run in the NCAA tournament. Who knows? But right now, all I can look at is 22-8, 22-9. That's hard to replace. You got to do it by committee. Now, 2 years ago, they had the 1-2 punch. They had Davis and Williams and everybody else, and that worked out pretty darn well. It's unfortunate that they combusted down the stretch in the Florida Atlantic game, but we've talked about that ad nauseum. Last year was a complete disaster after an amazing start. I don't know what to expect this year, but I know David Jones turned out to be a much better player than I thought he was going to be, or anybody thought he was going to be in the summer, but he still had deficiencies which at times cost the team. Now, I can tell you this, Brett. I was saying this for several days last week and into early this week, that if David Jones returned, you wondered and you worried a little bit whether David Jones would think, okay, I did this last year, and I need to really do more this year. So I need the ball more. I need more shots. And therefore, there could be a chemistry issue where he does not give up the ball as much and the new guys are disgruntled. I mean, there was always that possibility. That's one way to look at it, but that's the only thing I was looking at as a negative, because I thought those numbers were pretty darn good last year, and you lose those numbers, who's going to fill that void?
The very familiar and friendly voice of Greg Gaston is what you hear, and you hear him every morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with Eli Savoy. He's with us on Thursday from the Tiger sideline. It's brought to you by Jim's Place, Collierville, Mount Moriah Auto Sales, the law offices of Stephen Leffler, and Neil's Bar and Grill. How much of this is a denunciation, repudiation of David Jones to Penny Hardaway?
I don't know. I don't know the relationship that they had. I thought it was a strong relationship. And the fact that Penny kept saying 70%, 70%, I mean, he's not going to go out there and throw up numbers that he knew he was going to be wrong in the end. I mean, he sincerely thought that. So if he thought that, he had to feel like they had a good relationship. But this does not seem to me on the surface, Brett, because I don't know. I don't think anybody really knows if there was anything else, if there was an ulterior motive. Was this simply, I want to get on with my career? And to me, that's what it seems like. Because if it was all about money, right now, we don't know, and he doesn't know what's going to happen unless he was given a promise. But we do know with the NIL, and again, with the influx of the money from FedEx, there was going to be more to be given to David Jones. So I don't know if their relationship had soured, if anything went south at the end of the year. I have no idea. But my best guess would be that David Jones at 22, who's older than a lot of other players, just figured, let's get on with the career. It is time.
Yeah. Well, and now a lot of people kind of turning their attention to what Penny Hardaway does now. 4 scholarships available when David Jones made his decision. Now 3 after they picked up a commitment last night from Daniel Vieira Tuck. Do you see him going out and picking up 1 or 2 more guys, maybe even using all 3 scholarships? And if so, what kind of player would you like to see Penny Hardaway bring in? Because I've seen a lot of different opinions out there. I've seen some people say, go get a guard that can shoot the 3. I've seen some people that say, go get a big man. What do you think Penny Hardaway does to solidify this roster?
I think he is working diligently to add. I really do, because, again, it looks like a decent team on paper, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you that team right there is an automatic tournament team.
Right.
So he has some deficiencies. Now he has a little bit of a deficiency on the wing scoring and, of course, shooting. Shooting has been consistently a deficiency with the Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've got guys who can shoot the ball, don't get me wrong, but not a depth, any depth with guys that can shoot. Last year, Walton was supposed to be one of those guys. He failed. He was not the shooter that he was at Wichita State. I don't blame Penny for going after Jaquan Walton. What they have coming in, we know that Colby Rogers, again, a Wichita State guy, ironically, like Walton, is a 40+% shooter from three. Will that equate to shooting like that for Memphis? Same conference, you would think that he would have similar success, but we don't know. So I think you're looking at probably more shooting help if you can find it, and then a big. And I look around and I see what's in the portal, and I heard all the news yesterday of players that are going to be available now in the portal, and I think absolutely he is looking into adding a player or two. I can't imagine, I could be completely wrong, but I can't imagine that Penny is looking at that roster and going, okay, I'm satisfied, I'm sold, this is what I want, I'm ready to rock and roll. I think he's looking to see what they can do with NIL money that has become available without David Jones taking that money. So I would think that there is money there to be used out. It just depends on what players you're looking at and what they're looking for.
Greg, a lot of the Tiger football schedule news and times today, but also Tiger basketball. And Bryant said Monday night, November 4th, the Tigers would open a play against the Missouri Tigers. That is opening night, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right. That'll be Monday night. So the Tigers, I think, have a football game on the 2nd at UTSA.
Get the media guides out for the last time the Tigers. Well, they opened against Vandy from the SEC 2 years ago up at Vandy, didn't they?
That's right.
That's right. That's a good memory.
So
but
not that long ago to open against the SEC. Last home opener against the SEC.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how long that's been.
I'd have to dig.
But yeah, but it's the return game. Of course, they played last year.
That was a Friday night game. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the game that Memphis. Brian, remind me, was that the first half? They had the great first half or the great second half?
Opposite. Great second half. It was a disaster of the first half.
And ended up
that was
running
Rich
them out
Stansberry.
of the gym.
That's right.
That's right. That's true. So they ended up running them out of the gym in the second half. Now, this is the makeup game, not the makeup game, but this is the return game, and it's one of the. There's not a ton of attractive games at home, but they do get Ole Miss, they do get Mississippi State, they do get Missouri. That's 3 SEC teams at home for the upcoming season. So that's going to attract fans, no question about it. But that will be the team that they open up the season with. I haven't kept up with Missouri. I don't know what they have, what they've been able to pick up through the portal. But, yeah, that'll be a challenge, certainly, to open up the season. There's still a few more games that have to be solidified on the schedule, probably bye games that Memphis will play at home.
And then Maui.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, yes, the games on the neutral court and the away games will certainly be a challenge, but you have to fulfill your allotment of games for your home schedule. And I think there's a couple of more. Maybe it's been done and it just hasn't been announced yet. But I would imagine those games, I think there's a couple, would be like your Jackson States, your Alabama States, maybe Tony Madlock's team comes in again. I don't think we're going to get another name on that schedule, but you never know. It's not because Penny isn't trying. He is certainly trying. We've talked about this a lot of times about scheduling. He would love to schedule as hard as he could, get as many big names as he could, but it takes two to tango.
Greg, I hope Mary and your children and grands leave you a plate out when you get home about midnight from New Orleans after a Tiger win over Tulane on Thanksgiving. You'll get the leftovers.
I hope so. Leftovers for Thanksgiving aren't bad, but yeah,
sure aren't.
Personally, I don't like that. You've dealt with the Egg Bowl for so many years. On Thanksgiving.
And I loved it because I don't have Mary, I don't have grandkids, I don't have kids, so I wasn't displaced whatsoever. But I can see where you are. That's some real quality time that you're going to be missing.
Right, we're in a little bit different situation, but hey, look, if I can't make it to Thanksgiving dinner with the family to be able to cover a game, and hopefully it's that special season we talk about, and that game will be extremely important. And the national attention that they're going to get with the Egg Bowl move to Friday, I like the fact that Memphis is going to get that attention, and hopefully it's well deserved by that point in the season that they haven't had hiccups. But personally, again, I hate that it's on Thanksgiving. The rest of the schedule, there's a couple of things I hate that There's a roadie at 11 a.m. at Florida State.
Yeah,
Those
I'm
morning
not a fan.
games are really tough. I can't even imagine the team has to get up so early and then get ready to go. And I know the other team has to as well, but they're home sleeping in their own beds. It's probably a hotel, right, because that's what Memphis does. Probably other schools do that as well on a Friday night before a Saturday kickoff. But the point is the same, that you're the visiting team. You got to get your day started. And, and then there's the flip side, because some coaches hate a night game on the road because then you're sitting around at the hotel all day long. So, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You're going to play the game no matter what. You're going to play that game no matter what the situation is.
That Tulane game, very real prospect, very real. If you play at Tulane on Thursday night, Thanksgiving night, November 28th, the following Saturday could be Memphis versus Tulane at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, the AAC championship game.
It could very well be. Look, I'm not going to say this is wide open, but there are, I think, a few more teams in the mix this year. Memphis obviously being one of them, and I think South Florida is going to be a real tough opponent for everybody in the American, and Memphis gets them on Friday, October 11th, so you got a Friday night game. Now, maybe less people there for the game because it's Friday night high school football. Maybe that helps a little bit, but I think South Florida is on the rise in the American Conference. Memphis' toughest games in the conference are all on the road, at UTSA, at Tulane, at South Florida. This is, I think, and they play Navy now. Again, Navy, until they get a quarterback, Navy will never be what they used to be. But when they had a quarterback, with Perry or Keenan Reynolds, we know how good they could be. You got to take advantage of it while Navy doesn't have a quarterback. But it's still a road game, and all the pomp and circumstance in Annapolis. And, of course, the week before that is Florida State.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't go your way against Florida State, which we know will be a huge challenge, it's not the end of the world. But can you pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and get ready that quickly for Navy and the option offense? I think it is a tough schedule, to be honest with you. But again, if Memphis is going to be the team that everybody thinks they can be, and they have the confidence in themselves, then sorry, tough doo-doo. You got to go out there. You got to win these games.
Sure do, Greg.
You got to win these games on the road. You got to win these games against the better opponents in the conference.
Just like other teams in the area, you talk the talk. You want the respect.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go out there and take care of business. This is the all-in season. I'm talking about Memphis and Ole Miss. This is the all-in year. Anything shy of the playoffs for both of those teams is a failure.
Yeah, well, certainly, if it's one step less, how about you don't make it to the conference championship game if you're Memphis?
Memphis almost has to do that. Ole Miss doesn't have they don't have to go through Atlanta, but
right.
It sure would help matters. It'd make it easier.
No. You're right, and that's what I was going to get to. Ole Miss doesn't have to. I don't believe they have to, but it would make it a lot easier for them because you're going to have not only multiple SEC teams, but you can have upwards of 5 teams in the playoffs. Who knows?
Both teams in Atlanta get a bid. Memphis doesn't have that luxury.
Right, but Memphis, again, the first step is get to the darn championship game, right? I mean, we're thinking about the playoffs, and it's fun to think about
I
the
say
playoffs.
host. I say not just get to. I say host.
Okay. I mean, look, again, that's not asking for too much. I mean, what you're saying is not asking for too much, but I'm making the point, and I don't think it's going to be the case, but again, knock on wood here. If you don't get to the championship game, let alone whether it's away or not, if you don't get to the championship game, that's a disaster. This team is built for this season, as you said, like Ole Miss, their counterparts from an hour and 15 minutes down south. But you have to take care of business. I hate to use the old cliche, a game at a time, but you really have to, because any one of these games, in North Texas, which gave you trouble down there last year, you get them at home. Or UAB, they gave you trouble in Birmingham. You get them at home. Will home field make the difference? You're not going to have the use of the entire stadium. Now, it's not like they've been selling out in previous games, but you don't have the entire use of the stadium because of the renovations that'll be going on. But you have to be able to take care of these teams and put them away early, Brett. Mm-hmm. You can't be messing around where it comes down to late in the fourth quarter where you got to make a play or you got to make a stop. Memphis should be heads and tails above most of these teams, if not all of them in the conference, so they don't have to worry about that point in the game late in the game to make a play because they've already done the damage earlier.
Greg, it's a fun summertime dynamic for us in this and for sports fans in this area. I'm not saying both sides got to pull for the other one, but it wouldn't hurt anything if they did. I guess it doesn't matter if they do or don't. But there's a lot of common denominator with Memphis and Ole Miss for this all-in year for both of them. Both coaches in their fourth year, both with veteran quarterbacks. And both in this situation, both have never enjoyed this a lot, this summertime run-up, intensity and pressure. Mm-hmm. But when they have, they usually haven't performed very well.
Yeah, I have not – I've already said it to you guys, and I've said it many times on my show. I have not experienced this type of talk about Memphis and excitement about Memphis, and even the players and coaches not – backing away from any of the talk. I have not experienced it at this level the entire time I've been here, and I got here late in 1995. I can't speak as much for Ole Miss as you can, but I've covered them an awful lot, and I've been down to a lot of games, and I know where Ole Miss is. They're also all in on this season. As a media member, I love it when all our local teams do well, whether or not, my rooting interest, obviously, if I'm part of the Tiger broadcast team, I want them to win. But my rooting interest goes back to my alma mater, which has nothing to do with this area or the SEC or the American Conference. But I can understand that, there's still people that I don't care for Ole Miss or I don't care for Memphis. But I think for the most part with the media, we want these local teams and these regional teams to do well.
It's good for business.
It's great for us. There's more talk. There's more topics. There's more conversation. There's more people that are bought into it, and they want to converse with us. It's a great time when things are going well. That's why it was horrible for several months once the Tigers had their epic fall in basketball and the Grizzlies just pittered the entire season, not because of their fault, because of all the injuries. It was just, the Grizzlies and the Rockets, who cares? They're missing 7,000 people. When they're playing great and they're battling to be the top seed in the West, we're so excited. It carries us for months and months. So the more we have to talk about, the more topics, the better the teams. I think it's better for everybody, certainly for fandom, but for us in the media as well.
Well, fellas, I've been working very diligently throughout this entire segment to try to find the last time the Memphis Tigers have hosted an SEC team to start the season. Unfortunately, I've not been able to find a team that they hosted while they were a member of the SEC, but I did find a current member of the SEC that they hosted to start the season. In 1964, Memphis hosted Texas A&M, obviously then not a member of the SEC, today a member of the SEC. And I probably made a mistake. I could have made a mistake somewhere along the way. I was trying to do this very fast, but there is a good chance that as far back as 1964-65, this would be the first time Memphis starts the season hosting a current member of the SEC.
Wow. Usually it's a bye game, right? Mm-hmm. Usually it's a team like...
Believe me, Greg, a lot of bye games in there.
Soft opening. Yeah. Benedictine College. Heidelberg.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I've seen both of those teams against the Tigers.
A lot of Green Bays to start the season back in the 70s.
Exactly. And that's across the board. Right,
sure.
Most schools that have clout, that have a great program, usually do that. But every once in a while, certainly you start off and you play an opponent that's also a name. And this year it's going to happen with Missouri. I'm not saying Missouri is a top 5 basketball team, but it's Missouri and they play in the SEC. It's a lot different than playing, again, a smaller conference with a team that's mediocre.
That's right. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good start for the season, hosting an SEC team. I know a lot of people will be excited for that. But as always, Greg, thanks so much for joining us. We'll do it again next Thursday.
Sounds great, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg. Greg Gaston joining us to talk Tigers, and obviously big news there. Big news on scheduling note for both the football and the basketball team. Football, that game against Florida State, an 11 a.m. kick on ESPN, and then starting the season, opening day at home against Missouri on the hardwood. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 32 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Crazy Lemon Twist, a savory, zesty, and citrusy taste of fresh lemon twist. The Jalapeno Cheddar, an acidic and spicy flavor completed with a burst of sharp cheddar. Or Crazy Sweet Heat, tangy sweetness followed by the heat. And that's just 3 of the amazing 32 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the Crazy Coop Special. Choose from 3 whole wings or 6 party wings, fries, and drink, all for just $9.99. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, Automatic Gates Construction tailors custom gate solutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial needs, including repairs, maintenance, and installation. Automatic Gates Construction specializes in designing and installing automatic gates and fencing that seamlessly blends security, functionality, and aesthetic appeal. Elevate the safety and efficiency of your property with a premium gate solution. Automatic Gates Construction at myautomaticgates.com.
It's time to get to Gossett Kia on the bike so Bobby J can put you in your new Kia today. Want summer fun and 41 mpg? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win? $249 a month. Get extra room and extra fun with 2024 Kia Telluride LX. $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing. All 24-month lease plus 0% APR for 48 months available on the all-new Kia EV9. And peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So hurry to Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Incentives price excludes $695 PF. Lease includes PF $695, $650 acquisition fee, EV6 P5610964, MSRP $50,200, Telluride RG $510,849, MSRP $38,305, Forte LXS RE78169, MSRP $21,820 plus finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax island license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety toe boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nevo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Times Ranch jeans. At Hewitt & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps. Fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic approved shoes. Hewitt & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewitt & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewitt & Dunn. Hewitt & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of Cashew Crunch, of Heavenly Hash, of Turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's. Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season in pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. We got about 30 minutes left in today's show. A couple things I wanted to get to during What's Trending. I wanted to start off with tonight's Western Conference Finals, Game 5 between Dallas and Minnesota. We saw Minnesota on the road in the last game avoid a sweep. Brett, what do you think happens tonight? What do you think are kind of the keys for both of these teams, for Dallas to wrap this series up and for Minnesota to extend it to Game 6?
I'm shocked it got extended. I thought it was going to be a sweep, and we'd have that long, long wait until next Thursday night for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That's in June, because tomorrow is the last day of May.
Hard to believe.
It is, and tonight I think Dallas closes it out because I think if you get Luka and Kyrie, Minnesota can't stop that. Mm-hmm. I talked earlier about you need Karl Anthony Towns being consistent. In fact, it was my top story of the day way back at 3:15, and I don't think he can be from game to game. We know Anthony Edwards can be. We know the satellite players for Minnesota can be. Karl Anthony Towns has let them down in this playoff against the Mavericks. The Mavericks helper players that you identified so long ago with P.J. Washington, they've been dynamite.
They've been great and have been – honestly, I know obviously Luka and Kyrie are going to get a lot of the talk because they're the stars on this team, but it's been those additional players that have really stepped up and I think have been the story for Dallas this year, and I think that's one of my keys. I think Derek Lively, if he's able to play tonight, that's going to be massive for Dallas. I know I was reading it earlier. Shams wrote over on The Athletic that not in concussion protocol. He'll be a game-time decision tonight to kind of see how he feels. And I think if he can go out there,
it's stiff neck more than it is concussion.
Sure,
isn't it?
Oh, it's got to be. But
it buckled the wrong way.
It was ugly for sure. But I think if you can get him out there and he's anywhere from 60% or better, I think he can be really effective. And you've seen him. I know Keith said it earlier. He's able to free Gafford up a little bit more so that Gafford can be a little more, aggressive defensively. But I also think, how versatile he is on both offensive end and defensive end. I think he makes it tough for both Cat and Rudy Gobert for the Timberwolves and kind of gets in their head. And so I think he's a big-time key for Dallas tonight if he's able to go.
And if Dallas wins, we will start talking tomorrow of what kind of shot against Boston.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I think they've shown a lot this series because, Minnesota comes in playing so hot, playing so inspired. I think was that from that far since the start of the playoffs had been kind of the story of the playoffs with how well they'd been playing, just coming off beating the defending champs Denver Nuggets. And then to see what Dallas did, especially those first 3 games, I think a lot of people went from, I think Minnesota's going to go on and play whoever comes out of the East to, oh, wait, Dallas has a really good shot against this Boston team. And so it'll be interesting to see how that builds if they're able to win tonight. And then, we'll have to wait a week and then actually get some games going.
You did the digging during the segment, which is impressive on last time the Tigers opened at home against an SEC opponent. Any further details?
That's it.
Stop at that.
That's all I've got. Yeah,
so
I could be wrong.
Night,
who knows?
After throwing it out, I hate throwing it out and not knowing it. But last year at the Canadian Open, first time since 1957, a Canadian won, and just a riotous party ensued. They were so proud of it. I asked yesterday, rhetorically, when's the last time they went back to back? I looked it up last night.
Oh, okay.
1915 and 1916.
Oh, Brett, remember those years like the back of my hand.
Came right to me. But don't look now, one shot out of the lead and playing his last hole of the day, big game Bobby McIntyre.
Wow, your guy.
6 under, Robert McIntyre.
Holy cow.
Not Canadian.
Don't let Bob get hot. Wow, I'll be honest. I was watching it earlier. I have
Smooth swinging lefty.
I know Rory, who you also
4
picked.
under.
Good day. He said he got a little wild last night. Had a little bit too much wine last night, celebrating his caddy's birthday.
Thanks, Rory.
But still, 4 under,
Really
not
appreciate
bad.
that.
I mean, not a bad day in the office, I guess.
Humongous hadn't stayed out late tonight.
That's
before
right.
Golf tournament,
I mean, honestly, Rory, one of us.
I pulled up at my tea time. In fact, Brian, can you believe that behavior?
Well, Brett, it checks out, I guess. But yeah, so some good things from the Canadian Open, and hopefully
There was a guy one time in
year.
Memphis. What was his name? Was it Bob Lund? It was way back. It was an old Colonial, and he was quite a night owl, and got a little confused on his tee time, and played the first hole in dress shoes, and went on and won that day.
How about that? See,
Yeah.
when we were talking about the topic we were talking about, and you said back in Memphis, I thought we were going to get a John Daly story, but unfortunately not.
He never won.
Well, that's very
Had
true.
some good tournaments in Memphis, though.
He did.
SEC announced a lot of TV times earlier today.
Yeah.
I think the 2 big ones were later in the year. Egg Bowl going to day after Thanksgiving instead of Thanksgiving night, where it's been the last few years. It's been a lot of different places. It's been on Friday before. COVID year played on the normal Saturday of college football, but a lot of times in the last few years it's been on Thanksgiving, but not always on that night.
Right.
But it will be the day after Thanksgiving, 2:30 slot on ABC. Last year on Thanksgiving night, that game did around 3 million viewers and just got mauled by the Thursday night NFL game. What really mauled it was the Cowboys audience that it was carrying into Thursday night was around 40 million.
Crazy.
Well, college on cable can't come close to fighting that. And then the NFL Thursday night game, I think, did around 15 or 20 million to 3. That's what the Tigers are going to face on cable, on ESPN at Tulane that night. But still, for local viewers, they will enjoy watching their team. Also, Georgia Tech will be on on Friday night.
Yeah.
That Friday of Thanksgiving weekend, the day after, and then all the games on Saturday. I guess Arkansas and Mizzou will go to Saturday. The Razorbacks Week 2 was announced today, and it will be a steamer.
Whew.
They play in Stillwater against Oklahoma State at 11 bells on September 7th.
Yeah, you talk about a warm one.
Razorback fans, take Monday off. Whew. You're going to be so sunburned.
Yes. No, that one is not going to be fun for those in attendance. But that should be a fun game.
That's a big Big 12 SEC matchup. Oklahoma State can win that league. They can win that league with losing that game.
Sure,
because they didn't factor into their league record.
Sure, no, absolutely.
And I have them losing twice in Big 12 action and losing to Arkansas. That's 3 losses. They could win their championship game and be the 4 seed.
Look at that.
With 3 losses.
I mean, on Thursday, May 30th, and we already have W's and L's for Oklahoma State. I love it. I mean, that's dedication right there.
For Mike Gundy, Arkansas and Oklahoma State, they haven't played anywhere since 1980, haven't played in Stillwater since 1978, and that was a year of a lot of anticipation for the Razorbacks. Were on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the Bible of preseason college football predictions then, with Lou Holtz, Ben Cowens, and Ron Cagney. High on the Hogs was the cover.
Wow.
And they go to Stillwater that year, and Lou Holtz, and he was, from the day he got to Arkansas, he was wanting to tinker with the uniforms, and that was driving people crazy. One of those people was me. But he was doing it, broke out the red pants with the white tops that day in Stillwater and played terrible. Lucky to win. Won 19-7, 19-10, something like that. A real narrow game. Arkansas loaded, barely won. And he said after the game, those red pants were becoming practice pants.
Probably a good idea.
Went back to white tops, white bottoms on the road.
Probably a good idea. No, but I like the point you made about that Friday after Thanksgiving. We'll have a nice ABC viewing afternoon with Ole Miss and State at 2:30, and then that will go right into that Georgia.
You think for Egg Bowl
game.
we get the A team? We get Fowler and Herb Street?
I think I should, yeah.
At 2:30 on Saturday?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, Disney got a plane. We can get them to the Iron Bowl the next day, can't we?
Sure, we can do a turnaround. That's fine.
Yeah.
I didn't factor in the Iron Bowl, I'll be honest. But we could make it work. I don't know if they would love that, but hey,
a lot of ABC and ESPN. It's really strange
sure
no
is.
CBS, isn't it?
It's different. And then seeing CBS do their big drop today and not seeing any SEC.
Well,
that was
drop.
it was
little drop.
It was very little drop.
And announced that the SEC championship game will be 3 Central on ABC for the first time since the year 2000.
Crazy. A lot of new. I've been saying it's going to be a lot of new this year. Also, how about this little nugget that kind of maybe went under the radar? Red River, 2:30 this year instead of 11 a.m.
That was big.
Man, plan accordingly if you're heading to that
really
one.
Be right for that one.
Yes, they will.
And you now have the OU and Texas ADs out there in Destin saying, Red River is really better than Cocktail Party. It's the only thing in the SEC I haven't done that I really badly want to do is go to Florida, Georgia, the Cocktail Party. And I'll just say this, having been to Red River, Cocktail Party, it better be good.
Yeah. No,
I would highly suggest every college football fan to go to Texas OU at Fairgrounds.
Oh, yeah. An
so
incredible
fun.
scene.
And I saw a
Looks like
classic.
it. Which one did you go to?
2016 and Baker Mayfield, 45-42.
Yep.
And he's firing his guns.
Of course.
It was great.
That is awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
This is the month when Memphians and visitors spend a lot of time downtown. And when you're surrounded by all the Memphis inmate chaos and desperately need to find some peace and quiet, steer yourself to Barbaro Alley and Bell Tavern, Memphis's perfect downtown neighborhood bar. At Bell Tavern, you'll find cool air, low lights, and the best cocktails you'll find anywhere in town, not just downtown. Spend a little time cooling your heels and everything else, and watch the parade pass by at Bell Tavern, your Memphis in May headquarters.
Don't miss a second of NWSL action. Every club, every matchup. From kickoff to equalizers. Every PK. Every save. The best players in the world play here. Find where to watch at nwslsoccer.com/watch. NWSL. We play here.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning Repair Team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Includes all rebates and incentives. Price excludes $6.95 p. PF. Lease includes PF 695, 650 acquisition fee, EV6 P5610964, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG 510 849, MSRP 38305, Forte LXS RE 78169, MSRP 21820. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 5/31/2024 with approved credit dealers.
I got Jeff Allen on the line to hear about some crazy deals happening at Gossett Kia southbound Mariah.
Randy, I'd love to give all our customers our best deal. 2024 Kia Forte LXS gets 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 282 miles EPA estimated range will get you where you want to go in the 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, plus a 2024 Telluride LX, $357 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing and 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9 and peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, we'll make you happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's Cool Cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or Cool Cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Started, so
go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is Geraldo. It is crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, Haskell.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, what I learned today, I mentioned it earlier, Jackson Robinson took his name out of the NBA draft, played his freshman year at BYU last year. He entered the transfer portal when he decided to test the draft waters, took his name out, and has committed to the University of Kentucky. And I saw this interesting nugget that I thought about using for Big Number, but I decided we'll just move it to what I learned today. This is from Kyle Tucker, who covers Kentucky up in Lexington. With Jackson Robinson, Kentucky's 9 transfers made a combined 424 of 1,069 three-point attempts last season. That's 39.7%, which would have ranked 4th nationally last season. The NCAA leader in made threes had 427 total made threes, so that's only 3 more than what the 9 transfers Kentucky has added brings in. An abundance of shooting for Mark Pope's first team at UK, which checks out with everything we know about Mark Pope. If you watched any BYU game last year, he's trying to get as many threes as he can. If it's not a 3, he wants it right around the rim. And so it's going to be
like Nate Oates.
Exactly like Nate Oates. And so you're seeing that style get more and more popular in college basketball. And now you'll see multiple teams in the SEC doing it, with Mark Pope taking it to Kentucky.
Yeah, you look at those teams kind of spray chart at the end of the game, where they made their baskets from. It's right at the rack or from distance. what I learned, the field of 68, whatever that is, with their way too early, even earlier than Joey Brackett's college basketball top 25, which is about as meaningless as anything out there, about as meaningless as Tiger fans wanting to fight over where the Tigers should have been ranked last year on December 28th. Well, it has Alabama number 1. It has Auburn 12. Play nice in Iron Bowl basketball world.
Got to.
Has Florida 15. Has Ole Miss 18. Tennessee 19. A&M 23. Arkansas 24. SEC will be brutal next year.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely going to be.
10-8 may win the league.
It might. I mean, you look around.
11-7 for sure.
Oh, for sure. But you look around, and it is really, really interesting to see. Something I could have done without, but I'm going to try to put my twist on it if I can. Netflix and the SEC are closing in on a deal for a football documentary series, which I love. I love all of the documentary series that you're seeing now with sports. We saw the one with golf. Formula One has one. I know they did a tennis one on Netflix as well. It looks like the SEC, the same people that made those Drive to Survive for F1, Full Swing for the PGA Tour, it looks like there have been discussions to start one in the SEC with football. But I just want to know how much access they'll be given. I know how we see a lot of these college coaches, and I know it's a little different in the SEC, but how much access are they going to be willing to give these documentary crews? If they can get full access, I say let's do it. I would love to see it, but that's definitely something to keep an eye on. That maybe a kind of behind-the-scenes look of football in the SEC could be coming to Netflix.
Yeah, I got to see it to believe it. They give a lot of access. What I could have done without is David Jones is not worth all this consternation. He was the best player on a not very good team. Do I need to remind people about just how bad that team was? A season does not end at 15-2.
Well,
there was a lot of basketball after that.
It was, and a lot of bad play in conference. It was really, really rough conference year. Where are you beaming tonight?
2 nights in a row to Minneapolis.
Right.
Look, I'm not taking any chances, though. Always take your overcoat to Minneapolis just to be on the safe side after that Super Bowl experience I had there. T-Wolves trying to stave off elimination against the Mavs.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one tonight. Beam me. I'll go back to the world of hockey. We've got another big-time game tonight. Tonight, it's the Panthers versus the Rangers at Madison Square Garden. We'll see 2-2 series. We'll see if the Rangers at home can steal one and really take a 3-2 lead. That would make them feel really, really good about their chances to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals.
We'll digest all the hockey tonight, the Canadian Open scores. Also, tomorrow, when we get on, a lot of college baseball games will have been played. All the college football TV news tonight, Arizona at the Mets, Washington at Atlanta, and the Yankees in Anaheim.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun night of sports watching for sure. Like you mentioned before we get on, a lot of college baseball. So I think first game 11 a.m.
Ride the over tomorrow, Brian.
Yeah,
Ride the over.
I'm with you. I'm looking forward to Alan Bell tomorrow. We'll have to be getting a lot of college baseball analysis and picks from him. So it should be a really good night. Enjoy your night because that's all the time we have. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.